Hi everybody, my name is Laurie. Welcome to another big fight. DR Boxing Big Night, Big Fight Night. We are here in the house. We're very much looking forward to it today. Before we get started though, let's quick round of introductions. To my far left, we've got Shane in the house. What are you saying?
What's up, man? What's up?
I'm good, man. I'm good. To my immediate left, we've got Nick Francis, aka the voice of reason in the house. And to my immediate right, we've got James Toon in the house. He's sure to be simping for someone
Damn
tonight.
right, I'm feeling oozy, and these fights are about to get juicy.
Oh my God.
Right, as I said, guys,
worse.
it's a big fight night tonight. Big fight night. To me, the biggest female fight of the year. Do you guys agree?
No.
Trust you to disagree.
Wasn't there someone that was
No.
calling you out in the comments for not mentioning another female fighter?
Yeah, there was. Yeah. No, but listen,
You wrote
I
a
understand
dossier
that.
about it.
I understand that, but these things are subjective.
Yeah, of course.
When you say
The Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron one
Katie
was
Taylor,
arguably
Chantel Cameron. I would say.
No, I think there was another one.
But
you
for
said
me, this
last
one's
time.
bigger.
I said it's 50-50 between those.
I think Katie Taylor is a bigger name than both of these females.
Combined?
But this is a better fight.
No, but she's bigger.
Yep.
And then Chantel Cameron, I would say, is bigger than Dezurn in this country.
So which one would you?
Yeah, but
Because
I
I
still
made
think
the
that
argument
combined,
that it
that's
was a
competitive.
lot bigger spectacle, especially being the first fight back in Ireland and everything. That Katie.
That's
Taylor
why I
fight.
think it was bigger.
And he said the
And
Conor
McGregor was there.
factor. There you go. There you
McGregor,
go.
it's a
There you
McGregor
go.
factor, mate. You can't deny it. If McGregor was rolling around
I mean,
here, everyone would be
I
talking
could be
about it,
wrong.
mate.
I mean, it's up to
I think
people's
it's
opinion.
close. I think it's close, but these two are two of the best. Take away Clarissa Shields, who most people consider the best female fighter, one of all time.
Definitely right now.
These are the next two.
Which fight do you believe has bigger implications in terms of their divisions? Like, which
This
one
one.
do you
This
think
one.
has a
This
higher
one.
quality
This one.
threshold?
This one.
This one is
So that's
also
the
this
argument
one
that I would
this
hear
one
for
is a
being
better
bigger
fight, bro.
Yeah.
It's a better fight. Two girls going at it like this. I mean, the Katie Taylor one. Yes, Katie Taylor's a big name, but I wasn't really that excited by that.
I was excited for Chantel Cameron because I'm a Chantel Cameron fan,
Yeah.
and I knew that Katie Taylor was never winning anyway.
No, but
so
you got to understand there was a lot of hype behind it. So the statement you made was, which is a bigger fight?
Well, like I said, why was there so much hype? Because of the Mac Daddy.
Forget
And the Mac
about-
Daddy.
forget about
Yeah, it's true though. It's true.
Yeah, okay.
As we've got who's this coming to the ring now?
Candy
To
Wyatt.
Candy White.
me, tonight is a bigger night because the fight is much more competitive. It's a better fight.
Are you
Better
saying that
fighters.
because of hindsight? Are you saying that because
No.
So before the fight, how did you see the fight? 'Cause I'm pretty sure you said it was a 50-50. Katie Taylor
No,
and
I didn't.
Chantel Cameron.
I said that Chantel Cameron would easily win, but I wasn't sure. that
No,
she would
you
get-
didn't say easily.
I don't remember that.
You said she'd win. You
Hang
didn't
on,
say
can you let me
easily win.
finish? I said that Chantel Cameron would win the fight easy, but she wouldn't get the decision in Ireland.
I don't
I was not
remember that.
excited about that fight.
I'm not saying that you weren't excited, but I don't remember you saying she was
can
going
I
to
ask
win.
you a
You think
question?
Go back and look at the video.
I don't think you said easy, but I
Can I
agree
ask
with
you a
I agree
question?
with you. You
I
did
said
say you
that
did say
I'm crazy.
Chantel
Chantel
Cameron
Cameron
would
would
win.
win the fight, but
Yeah.
she wouldn't get the decision because
Yeah.
Katie Taylor's been a beneficiary of some goddamn.
You did
awful
say that.
decisions.
You did say that.
No,
You did
what
say
you
that.
said, you were like,
I know what
well,
I
I
said,
feel
bro.
like
I
it
know
would
what I
be
said.
very hard for her to get the decision.
No, I
in
didn't say
Ireland.
that.
I
I
think
said that she would
maybe
not
on
get the
one right
decision.
day she
Listen,
might.
all I know is
rob
I
it,
knew
and
that
now-
Chantel Cameron
The
was
only
winning.
person I remember talking with conviction was you.
Thank
That's the
you.
only person I remember talking with
No, because
conviction.
I knew that Chantel Cameron would be the better fighter on the night, but I thought she'd get stitched up. I honestly did.
No, to be fair,
But anyway,
I said I thought Katie Taylor would absolutely cream her.
yeah,
so.
because you're starstruck with
But
me.
that's one. You know what can I say? It's a collector's item.
But
Me
Nat-
getting one wrong.
Natasha Jonas is coming to the ring right now, so...
I like the pyrotechnics, mate. They got some good infrastructure.
Yeah,
here.
Pyrotechnics is a very grandiose term for those sparklers. I had more sparklers than that in Dubai blood. Do you know what I'm saying? It's peak.
No, it's all right,
So
man.
what do
It's
you,
all
what do you guys
Show.
make of this fight? I mean, this is for a world title. Natasha Jonas taking on Canada's Candy Wyatt for the IBF welterweight title.
Canada Wyatt, if you will.
It's a walkover job. Do you know what I mean? Simple as that. The reason I say it's a walkover job is because if Natasha Jonas didn't win, that would hugely damage her stock. Which is why I think it's a walkover fight. Candy's fought for 2 vacant titles before. She's lost them both, so not even.
Did you see the fight with her and Jessica McCaskill?
Yeah.
Which one? With Natasha. With
Candy Wyatt.
No,
No, I didn't see Candy White.
I saw that fight.
I saw-
She got mollywopped.
I saw the when they were posting it like after the fight.
I
actually
watched the whole
happened.
fight.
I didn't even watch it live, but
I mean,
saw it
what
at
I
the
would
time.
say about Candy Wyatt, she's very tough, durable. She took her licks. But in terms of boxing skill, man,
majority of the time, especially at these weight classes for like female fighters, you know, it's very difficult to just that's why I love Savannah Marshall's fighting style. You rarely see someone just eyeing someone out, render them unconscious. So even though Natasha Jonas should win this fight, I don't expect it to be like
she will win
one punch
comfortably.
Obviously, we expect her to win.
No, she will win.
I think she will, but her age is still
You
a big
can't- you-
factor, though. 39 years old for, you know, people relatively light. In
I don't
terms
care
of
if
the
she's
grand scheme of
49
things.
years old. Skills play
Well,
the
49's
bills.
a little bit too far, you know.
No, seriously.
I don't wanna be
I
too-
don't want to be too disrespectful, but I'm telling you now, I've seen Candy Wyatt fight, and she's just not at that level.
No, I think I
How
do
you think it goes
that
then? Do you
Natasha
think
Jonas.
that Natasha Jonas stops her, or you just think it's like, you know?
It could be a stoppage, but I just expect Natasha Jonas to have far too much of everything for this girl.
Yeah.
And I think this fight, and I said it on the DR Boxing Weekly show, check that out if you can. I said that in many ways, this fight here highlights the inadequacies of women's boxing. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of women's boxing. But what you tend to find is if you scratch beneath that top level, there is a dearth there. There is a big chasm.
Definitely.
And I think this fight exposed it because you got basically Natasha Jonas coming down in weight, eyeing up this title against a girl that's fought for the title a couple of times before, been beaten and beaten comfortably, and she finds herself getting another shot at the title.
Unfortunately, there isn't, when you're referring to that, there isn't a great deal of the quality pool. You know, if you were to look at any weight class in any division in men's boxing, you can go probably about 20 names before you start scratching at the surface with quality. Whereas here, you're probably looking at maybe 3 or 4, so it's quite difficult. But
The other side of that, though, the devil's advocate side, is that we do see a lot of the best fighters fight each other a lot sooner because there's a smaller pool.
Yeah, 100%.
So that there's
What-
it's
To be
double-sided.
honest, I think the reason you see them fight each other sooner is nothing to do with the size of the pool. I think it's to do with the size of the money. I think where there's a lot more money up for grabs, there's a lot more corruption, and there's also a lot more greed, a lot more jealousy, and a lot more politics, shall we say?
That argument doesn't make sense.
Yeah, of course it does. The more politics, the more money around.
Less of that. I'm going to finish talking in it, and you're going to wait.
What do you mean you're going to finish talking? You interrupted me.
No. You interrupted me.
You interrupted me.
In the men's fight, in the men's fighting, there's way more money, and we still can't get the biggest names to fight each other.
Exactly my point.
How's that your
No,
point?
I said the more money, the harder it is to get them to fight each other. I'm saying there's less money in the women's
I think
division,
there's a
which
bit
is
of
why it's
strength to
easier
that
to get them to
argument,
fight
Nick.
each other.
There's a bit of strength because you look at like the biggest fights for the most money. They're always difficult to make. Like, let's for example, Wilder AJ or Errol Spence Crawford.
That was my point.
No, that was what I was saying.
Got you. I thought you were saying
You misunderstood what I was
The
saying.
fight started, but when you're bringing up Natasha Jonas, Laurie, and I hope she don't get offended by this, but whilst I do agree that there's a massive difference in ability, I wouldn't say that that's because of how good Natasha Jonas is. I would say that's because of Wyatt's lack of ability.
She's getting pieced up now already, man. Oh, this might be. Oh, she's got her on the ropes
First
within
round stoppage.
30 seconds.
Oh, man.
She's got
Go
to
on,
be durable
Tash.
to stay in there because she's going to get back.
She's tough, but
Mate.
she's got absolutely zero skill.
She's
Look at
getting
her.
pieced up.
I wonder. I don't want to be too offensive, but like
She's on wobbly legs.
Well,
doesn't
she's
really
not
have
being. She's
a-
not showing any offense. So I'd like it if you
she
could. To
doesn't
be
have a
honest.
great deal of technique. I wonder what it took for her to become a professional.
Just to be
because-
tough. I mean, her face is super red already. And the
Hey, I like
ref's
what you did
having
there.
a very, very close look already.
Mate,
looks
this is what it would look like if me and Nick got into the ring together.
Nah,
Just
don't be so hard on
absolute
yourself. Don't be
demolish
so
job.
hard on yourself.
An absolute demolishing job. Look at
I'm
this.
genuinely being honest, yeah. I think I can take a 13-year-old girl. And
Whoa, you
within-
think you can beat up a
Oh!
13-year-old girl? That's a bit of a mad
Listen,
statement, mate.
within 5 years, I can make that 13-year-old girl
Oh,
become a
no.
world champion. I genuinely believe that. I'm 100% sure.
Mate, what do you think you are? Teddy Atlas reborn?
It doesn't.
5 years world champion. This ain't like boxing
The
career
ref-
mode.
the ref's
No,
gonna
but,
stop, the ref's not going to stop it this round. There's 20 seconds left, but he's just staring at Wyatt, ready to jump in. Like,
She's not landed a punch, Candy Wyatt, in this whole round.
Might as well have stuck
she's not
Bray
moving ahead
Wyatt
out of
in
the way
there.
of
The
any of
lack
these
of
punches
action I'm
either.
seeing.
She's moving backwards and forwards, but there's no like lateral sideways movement.
She looks like a drunk person tottering down Enfield High Street on Saturday night.
Why specifically Enfield High Street?
'Cause that's where I live.
Why? Oh, you live in... Oh, okay.
Oh, she's come back now. Oh, she's thrown a few punches. But listen, man,
that's
I
like
think
when you hear that's when you hear the little 10-second bell. And you just,
I think that first round kind of highlighted just what I'd
she's
said.
bleeding from the nose already.
What's
Mate.
the comment saying?
Andrew Green says JT would get battered by Nick, who'd be done by round.
Yeah. No, he doesn't, mate.
It does.
How much have you paid him for that one,
it
son?
does. I promise you, that's what
How
it
much have you
says.
paid him to come out with that absolute fraudulence, mate?
Do you know why that's so funny?
Because it's so incorrect, exactly.
No,
One
because
thing the comments are saying, we got to stop interrupting each other. We do tend to do that. I know we're all passionate about the sport and we're all trying to get our points across, but let's, as I once famously
have
quoted
parliamentary
from
proceedings.
the late, well, I wouldn't say the late, but the great Chris Eubanks Senior.
Chris
Let's have some-
Livingston.
Livingston, you see, look, you've interrupted again.
Yeah, but you got it wrong.
Show some respect.
Let's have some
mate.
parliamentary procedure around here, please. Right, we're coming out for the second round now. In many ways, Candy Wyatt did well to get through that first round.
Yeah, this should be stopped this round or the next one, I think, because she's just going to keep eating punches until she can't
very
really
tough.
take any more.
But the initiatives on Natasha Jonas to actually kick on and actually put her in a position where she's not firing back. You can't stop a fight if they're still throwing punches, in my opinion. When they can't defend themselves and they're still attacking, you can't really stop the fight.
But I think you're seeing the golfing classes in.
I'd hardly say she's throwing punches. She's like underhand softball throwing those punches.
It is still
one
throwing.
boxing and one shadow boxing.
She's not even hitting anything with that jab.
Okay,
and it's not even like a good feint or anything. She's just jabbing the air.
What is Natasha Jonas doing right now to say stop the fight?
No. I just meant, you're right. So far in this fight, Natasha Jonas hasn't been as aggressive. She's slowed down. But I meant if she did exactly what she did last round again.
Oh, no,
then
yeah,
I
you're
thought
right.
That
No, but basically what she's doing is just biding her time. She knows she
Preserving
got
the
the beating of the girl. She just
wants the round.
she's just being professional because you can't throw like all-out punches for 3 minutes of every single round. So
It's
she's
2
taking her
minutes,
time.
but it's fine.
2 minutes, sorry. So she's taking her time.
Yeah, Candy Wyatt is very much shadow boxing here. You know, barely. Do you know what it is? Where the danger is that she's lost belief already. She's throwing punches and doesn't actually believe they're going to land. It's theatre.
I think it's more about the fact that she doesn't have the ability and she knows it. You know, sometimes you can go in the swimming pool and you realize the floor is really deeper than you thought.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what she's found
Happens to me all the time, mate. Happens to me in a kid's paddling pool, to be honest. It's quite unfortunate. What can you do?
I give her credit for trying, but like I said, the golfing class is seismic.
I was actually disappointed.
Oh,
I was disappointed
Oh.
with Natasha Jonas this round, to be honest. You hurt her several times in the first round. I wanted to see you step on the
To be
gas
honest,
a bit.
to me, it looks like Natasha Jonas is back in her prime.
But when you're not super active, how much do you want rounds? Because you want these fights to prepare you for what's going to come next. So even if she can bang her
At
out,
this age,
I don't know, man. You know, if she goes and bangs her out there,
put on a statement. That's what you do. Put on
Yeah.
a statement.
She is.
Natasha Jonas is normally a headline fighter for a lot
She is
of
putting
women.
on a statement.
I don't think so.
Well, to me,
Not,
she is.
not the. If
She's won both
the
rounds
person
clearly. What do
okay,
you want?
but that
What do you
winning
want? To knock her
at-
out with the first punch?
no.
Yeah.
But I
She's
want
won both rounds
Okay,
clearly.
let me ask you a question. If you've clearly hurt
Oh,
your
you've not said
opponent,
that
There you
before.
go. If you were playing,
if you've clearly
bingo.
hurt someone, do you not step on the gas the
Yeah,
next
but
round?
I told you the girl's tough. She's, you know.
But you're not stepping on the gas though. So
She's making a statement. She's won both rounds clearly. Nearly stopped her in the first.
I mean,
What more do you want?
obviously your standards of quality is lower than mine. So I guess that's
Yeah, but
why.
I'm just being realistic.
It's
You-
not
you know-
realistic. You step on the gas when you have your
okay.
person
Yes,
hurt.
but you knock everyone out with the
Did
first
I say
punch you
knock
throw.
out? Obviously your hearing's going at
No,
the
but
age
come
that
on,
you're
bro.
at.
Don't be silly. She's boxing very well.
James, get some parliamentary procedure. in there.
Damn.
No, but,
I'm
you know.
enjoying the scrap, mate. I'm enjoying the scrap.
If you hurt
Seeing
someone,
more action here than I am in that last
true,
round, to be
true,
honest
yeah.
with you.
if you hurt someone, Laurie's saying don't attack. That's what
So
Laurie's
she's
saying.
not attacking.
No, she's backpedaling as you can clearly see. Is she not backpedaling?
I think Shane's got a bit of a point, Laurie.
Bro, Laurie's obviously
She's
not
won
watching the
both
fight.
rounds absolutely.
That's not very difficult,
clearly.
is it? That's not very difficult.
Let's bring in the people in the comments. What do you think? If you are Natasha Jonas right now, you know, do you cruise through the fight? Do you keep fighting at the pace that she's fighting at now, or do you go back to what she was doing in the first round and go for the knockout because you know that your opponent's damaged? What do you think?
I think she should cruise like Dezurn, if you know what I mean.
Very good. One of your better ones.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Not really
she's
saying
really
much.
attacking right now, isn't she, Laurie? You know,
Look,
It's that-
She's attacking about as much as a prime Jose
she would've
Mourinho
had
side.
everything
She'll
under
stop
control
this girl.
before.
There's no rush, man. Just like
She would have had everything under
I can
control
tell you've
before.
never been in the ring. Look,
Oh, great counter left.
And was the
I
follow-up.
can tell you've never been in the ring. Are you going to take that, Shane?
Laurie's talking.
no, but yes.
You're going to take that, mate?
Laurie
He
was.
hasn't.
He hasn't.
Laurie's fight.
I've had more ring action than
you.
Shane.
Laurie's
Been in a
sparring.
cage.
Laurie.
Been in an octagon.
Laurie
You've
of
got
his,
to be realistic in this sport.
Laurie is obviously talking about some 90s, 60s boxing because
I'm
I
telling
don't know what
you
he's
that
talking about.
Natasha
bro.
Jonas is winning this fight clearly.
But
easily.
she was always going to be winning.
So
she's
I
basically
don't know,
fighting a
you're
journey,
being
man.
overly critical in my
Journey
in my-
woman.
Just have a comment here from Southwest Gunner. Thanks for being in the chat. Says I can tell you've never been in the ring. It's fighting talk. Thank you, Southwest
No,
Gunner.
but it's
Is.
true, isn't it?
Personally, I
Is
wouldn't
it
have
true,
it, Shane.
I've fought many times.
No, is it true?
He's calling you
Bro,
a
if
mug.
you want to see me fight, bro, I've been in the ring.
Is
Yes,
it
I have.
true?
Yes, I
Have you
have.
boxed before?
Yes, I have. Many times.
Have you
At a
even
decent
trained?
level.
No, I will never box professional because
No,
I'm.
as-
Oh,
decent-
because you're
I've-
too... Yeah, you
Anyway,
don't have the skills.
Listen, I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm just saying that to me, she's winning. She's winning clearly. She's caught her with some very good shots. The only thing that's keeping Candy White in this fight is her toughness. And I said to you before the fight, I've seen her fight before. She's very tough. That's the best sort of comment I can give her.
Do you think that if Natasha Jonas done what Shane said and put on the gas, she could have knocked her out already?
Yes.
Maybe not.
Do you think she's capable of knocking her out like
I
already?
think she's capable of stopping her, yeah.
but later on in the fight,
Yeah.
not just
So,
yet.
and I think
Okay.
she's just biding her time.
So Nick, he said that she's winning the fight clearly. Before the fight even started, he never gave her any chance in the first place. So she's doing exactly.
Yeah, so what's that got to do with it?
She's doing exactly what you expected her to do.
Yeah, and I
So
think
then,
she's-
therefore,
look
it's not
at
a great.
that.
So
Look-
therefore, it's not a great
Great
performance.
left.
It's not a
Well,
great.
no, it's early on in the fight though. Let's calm it down a little bit.
Yeah,
Look, at the
that
end of
is
the
such
day,
a silly thing.
look, at the end of the day, look, she's going up against someone with a titanium chin. To be honest with you, it's going to be very
So
hard
what
to
is
knock
it?
her out.
Because she
And
not knocked her out in the
she's,
second
she's,
round.
she's
No.
39.
Is
She's 39. She has to preserve her energy, mate.
Can I ask
Time.
you a question? Is she overachieving?
That's
Yes
a
or no?
different story,
I'm
mate. It's
asking
early
you
on.
guys a
She's
question.
39 years old. She has to preserve her energy. She can't go all guns blazing podcast style in the first 2 rounds and then gas out.
Oh, look.
That was very good. That's very good. Moman says, I think of all the DR boxing, of all the DR sports shows, this is up there. We need more boxing events. Thank you for that comment.
Yes, man.
And Andrew Green says, batter her now. You're not going to learn anything battering someone incompetent. Just get her out of there.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, my bro. When you got someone who's there for the kill, you don't get paid
She's
for
39,
overtime.
You've got to take her age.
You don't get paid for overtime, bro. I want to see killers. That's what I want to see. Killers. I don't want to see
Wow.
someone just pity patting. Just if you can go for the kill, kill.
Well, you know, I'm a man of God, so I don't really
Then don't
agree
watch
with
boxing.
that. You know what I mean?
Don't watch
not
boxing.
Really,
This
not
is
really.
a
I
holy
want you the
sport.
same guy that was absolutely slating Teofimo Lopez for saying he wanted to kill someone in the ring.
Not
Now
me.
you're saying you want to watch killers.
Not
mate. That's a
me.
bit
I want
hypocritical,
to,
I'd
bro.
say.
This
That's
you
really
have to have that.
bloody- you hear what
You
you're
have
getting
to have
from
that
this guy.
mindset in boxing.
Oh, but when Teofimo says it, it's disgusting.
Great counter left
saying
again.
it and having that mindset's two different things.
How
Like,
she's landing a lot of counter lefts, Natasha Jonas. How much is it her style, game plan to let Candy step forwards? She's backpedaling, but not necessarily, to Laurie's point, backpedaling, but not giving up ground and then catching on the counter.
can I ask you a question? Who's
Yeah.
moving down and who's at this weight class? Whose natural weight class is this?
Natasha
Laurie.
Jonas's, no?
I'm trying to watch a fight, Shane.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
No, I'm not going to get into
What's wrong with
it.
this guy?
You're not going to trigger me with nonsense.
I asked you a
I'm
question.
trying to watch a fight.
I asked you a question.
As we speak in...
Say that you don't know. That's a better answer.
No, I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Michael Dowd says it's about getting the rounds in. You clearly don't know boxing. So Andrew Green and Shane, he's disagreeing with both of you. So they split in the chat. Some people
Right.
saying get her out of there.
To
Some
be
people saying
fair,
get her out.
also Natasha Jonas hasn't fought in 8 months, so you are right. She does need to get some of that
what I
ring
said,
rust
'cause
gone.
she's not a super active fighter, and she's not exactly coming towards retirement. Is she coming
Listen,
towards
uh,
She is coming.
You
She's
do
39,
not
you know. She's
get-
in the
I mean, her
renaissance.
age, but like she's still spry.
You don't get paid for
Yeah.
overtime. That's boxing.
How many times are you going to say that?
So then, that's my opinion. You don't get paid for overtime in boxing. You get rid of the people in front of you.
Well, some companies may pay you for overtime, you know.
In
Depends.
boxing, you don't get paid for overtime.
Depends. Some companies may, you know.
I'm
TV
self-employed,
times.
yeah,
You don't know
so-
what their deals are.
And whoever's agreed with Laurie, I mean, phew.
Natasha
I don't know what to
is
say.
boxing very well. She's winning that counter. The only thing that's keeping this girl in the fight is her toughness. And I think
but
Natasha Jonas has looked impressive.
Do you
if
not
ask me.
agree, Laurie, that if she doesn't start to step on the gas soon, that boxing well suddenly changes? Like,
Well, we'll see. But at the
like,
moment, she's boxing well enough.
I would
for me.
compare this fight to Canelo versus Charlo. You know, that in terms of
I
golf of
wouldn't.
quality.
What?
In terms of golf of class,
We're not going to get to that
Both
yet.
Canelo and Charlo are great
We'll
boxers.
talk about that
They're both
after
very,
the
golf
very
of
good
quality,
boxers.
mate. No, but Canelo's different level. You know what
We'll
I mean?
talk
That's
about
golf
that
of
one.
class.
Let's concentrate on this one.
Comparing Charlo to Candy Wyatt.
No, but
And one thing
no,
I-
but Natasha Jonas isn't on the same level
What-
as Canelo. So I'm
one
talking
thing-
about
Let's
the bridge
talk about
between
that one after
One
this
thing
fight,
I
man.
would say is Natasha Jonas has got way more bounce in her step than Canelo. That's what I will say. She's definitely got that.
Oh,
Ooh,
great
that's a
counter
really
left
good shot
again.
from Natasha
It's
Jonas.
the counter left every
that
time.
backhand every time. That
Yes.
southpaw stance you can't get past. That's what I'm saying. Just go for the kills. You can't even handle you.
But do you think as well, for Natasha Jonas at 39, there's a concern about emptying the gas tank? She's very, very fit. I'm not questioning her
Then-
fitness, but emptying a gas
then-
tank, going for the kill.
Then why try to go beyond 5 rounds? Get the person out of there before
No,
5.
no,
But if she's in
he's saying
complete control-
she's tough.
if
figure it
she's in complete control, you look at, well, I think we were all together watching great counter left again,
Good shot.
watching Yard empty the tank, trying to go finish
no,
off Kovalev.
Of course. But it's slightly different. This person can't hurt you. There's nothing this girl can do to hurt you. There's
That's not
nothing.
true, mate.
I don't know.
Again, words spoken from a man that's never been in a boxing ring.
Whatever,
you know what I
bro.
mean?
This
It's a
kid-
ruthless
there's
sport,
nothing
mate.
this
Anybody
girl
can
do
hurt
to
you.
hurt you.
Ain't that
Nothing.
right, Laurie?
When you're in the ring, you know your opponent's biggest shot.
Laurie
You know
always
it.
said not to. Anyway, so
Laurie's resigned.
let's just watch the fight.
As I said, when you're in the ring, Nick, you already know and you already felt.
Speaking
your
from
opponent's
experience,
power.
Shane.
Yeah.
You felt, yeah, of course I am. You felt your opponent's power.
Yeah, but I still
She's
think
blooded her up now as
I
well.
still think,
on
the
nose.
most damaging punches are the ones you don't see. You empty that tank, you get tired, you make a mistake. One
Shane
punch can
doesn't see
change
anything.
everything.
You don't have to. As I said, you don't have to. Ask Laurie who is coming down in weight and who's going up in weight. Who's fighting at their natural weight class? Laurie.
Good round there for Natasha Jonas.
So I'm saying this guy.
Blooded her nose, and it's looking good. I think she's boxing well.
Yeah.
Why gas out early against a strong chin and potentially lose later, or just win rounds?
I didn't say
And
gas out. There's a
Barca
difference.
Dam says it's starting to dawn on Laurie that he's doing this show with kids. The interruptions are pissing him off. Lol.
True.
We need a DR Sports Seniors.
Of
No,
course.
we what we need is for people on the panel to watch a fight instead of trying to
I'm watching the
impress
fight.
their opinions on
I'm
people.
watching a
No,
fight.
I'm watching
talking
it.
about you. I'm just saying.
I'm watching the
making a general
fight.
point.
At the end of the day, are we not on camera? You've been silent for 3 minutes. What do you want us to just remain silent like we're in a church? I don't understand. We're not. Are we not on
Good round
camera?
there for Natasha.
Well, this certainly isn't a biblical performance, so we're definitely not.
No,
in
Laurie's
church.
saying it's 10 out of 10, bruv.
I think she's boxed very well.
She's boxed decently, not very well.
Thank
Like I
you
said,
very
you've got to take into account what's in front of her.
Exactly.
If she was fighting an elite opponent,
No, but
then
I
she'd be
said to you,
boxing
how
very
many
well.
times have I
She's
told you?
boxing as well as she can.
Candy
for
Wyatt
the
is
opponent
very
that she's
tough.
got.
Mate.
That is why she's not got her out of there.
Yeah,
you,
but,
you also have to factor into. Oh, good shot.
Great counter left.
You also got to remember that
Again.
Natasha Jonas is one of the few women that are recognised as being quite a decent puncher.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, she's boxing very well.
She's boxing
Just because
well.
she didn't stop her in the second round,
she-
I'm not going to detract from her performance.
She's boxing like she's fighting a puncher. You know, very
So-
cautious, very picking her
She's not
shots.
very cautious.
She-
She's boxing
I mean,
very
I want to
intelligent.
see her in the front foot and push the girl back,
She's
but
boxing
like we
very
saw in the
intelligent.
first
Is
round.
she normally on the front foot and pushing people back?
She done it against Katie Taylor at large periods of the fight. She was in the kitchen all game against Katie Taylor and she was game. So
No, the thing I'd say, you're looking at this slightly differently. Laurie, you're
Oh,
looking
that's
at
a
it
great
from a
uppercut.
perspective
That's a
of
really
her
great
just
shot.
winning this fight, whereas Shane's looking at it from the perspective of she's not in there against a really great opponent, so she needs to make a statement,
Thank
and
you.
a victory isn't
To me,
good
she
enough.
is making a statement.
It's a good performance, but it's not a statement.
Well,
That's not a
A
Statement.
statement would be
Well,
getting her out
like-
of there in
like I said,
devastating
you can
fashion.
agree. I disagree.
Another great
I think
counter.
she boxed very well.
She's landed
counter
some
left.
really
Box very
good
well
shots.
and not make a statement.
That counter left is just there all day long. The
could-
little right check uppercut hook was class, but that counter left is there all day.
She's landed some really good shots. So many good shots. Natasha Jonas. Very good shots.
She's got her blood on her legs.
I think the referee might stop this if we get a couple more rounds of this.
Yeah.
Another good
Yeah.
counter shot. She's walking onto that left hand all day long.
Yeah, nice parry.
Credit for her chin though. I mean, yeah, she's been wobbled. She's not
Ooh.
gone down.
That's a
I
shot.
might have just jinxed
That
it.
lead
Backhand
uppercut is
again.
beautiful. Sublime.
Yeah, she's taken a huge amount of end of the 6th round.
Yeah, because
taken a
I
huge
saw her
amount of-
when she fought Jessica McCaskill. It was a similar deal. She was taking a lot of punches.
It's like Zhang versus Joyce but with
Well,
less power.
no. Don't
It
compare.
is.
Do not compare that absolute masterclass. That is one of the most one-sided
Wyatt is more
beatdowns you've
similar
ever
to
seen.
Joe Joyce than she is to Charlo.
Joe Joyce.
No, that's a good
absolute-
comparison.
No, to Joe Joyce.
Because
Yeah,
It's
but
just head first.
Zhang is
It's
in
head
no way comparable to anybody. Zhang is on a different level. Zhang is.
So he beats Tyson Fury.
Oh, shit, he gives him a good fight.
What I would say though,
Gives him a good
what
fight.
I would say is,
Yeah.
we did see Zhang at some stage, flick that switch and say, this guy's ready for the taking. But I'm not gonna say anything because obviously,
What round was that?
didn't
What?
he get stopped?
He
in
got
the
stopped
8th?
in the 6th.
or 6th? Exactly.
Yeah, no, he rocked him in the
They are
first couple
fighting
of
again.
rounds.
The rematch has been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, who do you guys have for that rematch?
Joyce.
What makes you think Joyce?
I don't
Because
know.
I think this time, if he gets his tactics right, he might. Because we know that Zhang has got a suspect gas tank, very suspect gas tank.
Yep.
And I reckon Joyce, okay, he kept getting caught, but there
Didn't
was
just
one
keep
round
getting
where he
caught,
was
got
badly hurt.
absolutely
But
battered.
he didn't go down. I reckon if he can
He didn't.
be a
But
bit more defensively
How much
responsible.
damage do you think
but
he
that-
sustained
Yeah,
from
you're
that?
asking him
Also,
to do
can,
something.
can
Yeah.
he be, because we had this conversation last time, and I said what you were saying, what you're saying this time, I said last time, and you guys said to me, rightly so, you're asking someone who's over 30 odd to go and change their style completely, and that's just not how he
Leopards
fights.
don't change their spots, their strike.
You'd have to make Zhang the favourite based on what happened in the first fight, but I've got a sneaking feeling that Joyce will be tactically different in this occasion. And
I think Zhang
he'll-
will be even more confident.
Yeah, of course he will. But I think, look
what
at
a
this.
shot.
Very impressive
Very good
combinations
shot.
there by Natasha.
And you know what? I do actually really root for Zhang after the way he got robbed in that Hrgovic fight, which was for a number one contendership.
robbery?
That was honest. That was daylight robbery, mate. That was
I don't
criminal.
really like the term robbery in boxing.
That was brutal. That was like
Robbery.
That was like Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield level of
wasn't
robbery.
that bad.
It
But
was.
it was. To me, Zhang won that fight.
I believe Zhang won as well.
Clear as day. Clear as
It
day.
wasn't as bad as Katie Taylor versus Delphine Persin.
And he's a bigger name than Hrgovic as well. So why are they backing Hrgovic?
Oh,
That's a
great,
great-
shot there. What a shot. Straight down the pipe.
Hrgovic is a house fighter.
Yeah.
He was a house fighter. Zhang isn't signed to Matchroom.
No.
So I do think there's a window of opportunity for Joe Joyce. And maybe because
Yeah.
I like Joyce, I'm kind of leaning towards him slightly.
He's a likable character.
Yeah, he is.
He's
yeah.
a likable
It-
character.
It's difficult to say because I want to say Joyce so bad because of everything that you said, but are we asking him to do something that he just can't do? And I feel like the confidence that Zhang would have had going from that last fight, I just think he's just going to be more aggressive. And I think the defensive deficiencies we saw in Joe Joyce isn't going to be corrected.
I think it's not even in Joe Joyce's hands, though. I think you guys are being quite, dismissive of Zhang's quality. I think Zhang has his number. I think Zhang, arguably, is the better boxer. So I think it is down
He's
to
the better
whether
boxer.
Zhang can implement his game plan and if he has an off
I'm
night
just
or not.
thinking See, the thing about Joe Joyce is, right, if you think about his strengths, which is why they call him the juggernaut, he's a very attritional sort of fighter.
Yeah.
So if he can shell up, right, draw the sting early, I know it's easier said than done, but if he can do that and get past the first 4 or 5 rounds intact, not too busted up, not shaken up, I think down the stretch, his gas tank will wear down Zhang.
What?
And he might get a... look.
Straight away in the beginning of round 8.
What?
Before the bell's even, just after the bell's gone, just immediately raining punches.
What I was going to say, Laurie, is regarding Zhang and her.
Oh, look at this. Even Shane's got to be impressed by that. Look at that.
It's a good shot.
She's boxing very well. I could never understand the hyper criticism that she was getting. She's boxing well.
I didn't criticize. I just wanted to see her go for the kill.
Oh, that's it.
That's
he
it,
stopped it. I told
Has
you.
he?
What
There
did
we
I
go.
say?
Well,
I said in a
deserved.
round or two she'll stop her, and that's a great performance because she didn't go all out what you two wanted her to.
I didn't. I was playing. I was just trying to explain
I didn't
Shane's
say
point.
wheeling.
No, but what I'm saying
I didn't
is
say
she
wheeling.
never went in there and just threw hands recklessly. She just broke her opponent down, accurate shots, hard shots. She didn't lose even a second of any of the rounds. I thought it was a very good performance.
I didn't say wailing. Now, you can be aggressive without wailing and just throwing balls to the wall. All you need to
No,
do...
but what she did, though, with respect,
Don't wanna throw
she
your
just
balls on the wall,
walked her
mate,
onto
that's
the
for sure.
shots.
But in my opinion, what I would have wanted to see after the first round...
You wanted to see.
Yeah, okay. What I wanted to see after the first round is her dominate the center of the ring and push her opponent backwards, because she was clearly landing the more cleaner punches, and I felt like if she was landing those shots on the front foot instead of going backwards, they would have had much more leverage on them.
Yeah, but sometimes when someone walks into your shots, it can cause even more damage. You know, that's
Yeah,
something
exactly.
you might have learnt if you'd actually stepped into a boxing ring once in your
He
life.
has been in a boxing ring,
So
actually.
if
I'm
Well,
sorry.
you're changing your tune
No,
now,
but I was
mate.
just winding him
So
up.
even if you want to say that, if they're walking onto the punch and you're moving forward, then the damage is even more. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but if you're moving forward, most of the time they're moving backwards.
No, because that's why I said meet them in the middle, which she was just retreating. There's a difference.
No, look, I think it was a very, very convincing
No,
performance.
yeah.
It was a
No,
very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
convincing win. It was absolute domination. There's not even a second in that fight that I thought she was in any danger.
In
and-
total control
Total
from
control, yeah.
minute 1 to minute whatever it was.
But it was, but she stopped. It got called off in the 8th. Do
Yeah.
you think she has the ability,
You're
the
trying to
technical?
wind me up.
I'm not. I'm just asking. I'm genuinely not trying to wind you up. Could she have stopped her earlier? Is it possible?
It's possible,
Yeah,
but
that's all.
I don't think she was in any rush. She
I
had it
agree
under
with you.
control.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean? She
sure.
toyed with her.
Hit the like button, by the way, everyone in the comments.
And she's now a 2-weight world champion. What I would say, though,
McGregor
is
style.
that girl there, Candy Wyatt, no disrespects to her, but she's not worthy of a world title challenge.
So she's a 2-weight world champion. Did Natasha, whose weight class was this fought at?
This was welterweight, so she's come down in weight.
Who's
'cause she
come
was,
down a weight?
Natasha Jonas.
So would you not want to see the person? I was waiting for him to say this. That's why I kept asking. Would you not want to see the bigger person dictate the center of the ring and push the opponent backwards?
No, but what I'm saying, I can't argue with what she did because she was punch perfect.
What about you, Nick? Would you not want to see the bigger fighter who's come down in weight dictate center of the ring and push their opponent
didn't have
backwards? I'm asking Nick, what do you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think for me, it's her getting older. I think it's like a adjusting of styles to me. Do you know what I mean? You know, she's catching her on the counter. She's capable of walking forwards, but I think that although she's capable of walking forwards against this opponent, this fight needs to prepare her for following opponents. So if she's going to fight better fighters at this weight class and more dangerous fighters, then she may well have to fight off the back foot. And I think that's the thought process. So although she could do that against this fighter, does that prepare her for what comes next? That's the question.
Well, what
But-
comes next?
Well, that's a good question. You know,
It was, let's be honest, it was an easy night's work, as we said it would be. And she basically took no risk, but still managed to look impressive.
So,
Yeah.
so
Why go forward and risk it? She could have got caught by a stray elbow, a head, whatever, and got
KSI
cut.
level elbow.
So what she did is she kept it long enough, walked her opponent onto the shots, wobbled her several times, beat her up, stopped her, won the belt. To me, she was faultless.
So when you came into this fight,
Shane, I've just told you what she did.
I know, but you expected her to do everything she's just done.
She
so
boxed.
she
But
didn't,
she still-
she
she
didn't
still did
exceed
it, though.
expectation, did she?
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't matter. Hang on, let me answer this thing about. It's just such a ridiculous
I
question.
asked the question.
It's a,
you-
but it's a
she
silly question.
No, it's not.
She won at a canter. She won the belt. What more do
You
you want?
expected that though.
So,
That's what
yeah,
you
but-
expected.
oh my God.
That's what you expected. That's what you expected.
yeah, but if you
this
expect
is
Man
killing
City
me.
to beat Burnley and they win 3-0,
She
you're not
won
going to
the belt.
crucify
She
them.
never lost a second of a round. She's achieved what she set out to do. That's it. It's
Do you-
game
do you-
To
over.
be fair,
Game
I've
over.
got to back Laurie on this one for two reasons.
Please.
First of all, because she hasn't fought in about 8 months, and second of all, she's
8 months isn't that
39. No,
long.
but
8
when
months
you're
isn't that
it's
long.
not that long. Maybe when you're younger, when you're 39 and your body's getting older, the mind is willing, but the body isn't necessarily able. Time off impacts you a hell of a lot more. So it was important for her to get the rounds in, get herself feeling confident in that ring again, and she was.
Let's just close off because I do want to talk about, because I'm so tired of this conversation. You're not impressed. I'm impressed.
I didn't say I'm not impressed. I did not say. I said I don't think she exceeded expectations.
Right, okay. You don't think she exceeded. That's your right to think so. I think she boxed very well. She got the job done. Game over. What do you think?
Yeah, she done what we expected her to do. She didn't underachieve. She didn't overachieve. She done exactly what we expected her to do.
And what was your?
I thought that performance was cleaner than Silip Bang. To be honest, I thought it was absolutely flawless. It was silkier than a spider's excrement. And on to the next one. She needed some minutes in the tank, and she did that. Punch perfect, as you said.
Right. So let's move on, because I must admit it's getting trying, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. She won the title. That's it.
Which you expected.
That's what's going to go.
I like her character as well. She looks like a very bubbly person.
9 times out of 10 fights are won by the people that are expected to win.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I can't for the life of me see what point that is.
It's just why I don't get why you guys always slag off Canelo, because he beats people that he's expected to beat.
Talking of
when
Canelo,
you're the champ, that's what happens, mate.
Talking of Canelo,
I don't get what he's saying.
that brings me on to the point I wanted to make. Yesterday, it was announced. I actually got a phone call from Shane when I was at my local Tesco after I come out of the gym, and Shane was
said, "Let me ask you a question, Laurie.
Can you let me get the words out, please?" Shane rang me up. I was in Tesco's, about to buy some groceries, get a call, look at my phone, it's from Shane. He said, "Yeah, have you heard the news?" I said, "What news is that?" He said, "The Canelo fight." I said, "Canelo fight? What's happened?" He said, "Yeah, he's fighting Jermell Charlo." I said, "No, surely you're talking about Jamal Charlo." He said, no, Jermell Charlo. I was like, "What?" So, yeah, basically the news was announced yesterday that Canelo, rather than taking on Jamal Charlo, the older,
bigger brother,
the oldest twin, in by a couple of minutes, apparently. But the bigger Charlo, he's now going to fight the smaller one, the junior middleweight champion, for Canelo's super middleweight belts. Now, I'm going to say very quickly before I pass it on to you guys that, to me, this is another cherry. I just think that this sort of thing, man, is just ruining the sport. And in some ways, you could argue that Jermell Charlo is actually a better opponent for him than his brother, given the fact that the brother's not fought for 2 years. He's going through a load of problems, emotional problems, financial problems. So he's clearly not in any position to fight, which is apparently why he didn't take the fight. But I can't understand, why can't we get Canelo versus Benavidez? Especially Benavidez is in that
weight class.
He's in that weight class. He's in the PBC stable of fighters. Why can't we get that fight? Instead of that, we're getting Canelo fighting a junior middleweight, 2 weight classes below him. And I just think it's nonsense. Added to that, Jermell Charlo was supposed to have defended his belt later on this year against Tim Tszyu, who's been waiting in line now for what seems like ages. He even waited while Jermell Charlo got injured.
Yeah.
And now he's been put on the back burner again. Disgraceful. Shane, anyway, you were the one who called me up. Let me have your thoughts.
I want to highlight the hypocrisy. And last time we done a Canelo video, there were so many haters. So I'm calling all Canelo haters. Answer this question that I always like to ask a question. So answer this question. Is Jermell Charlo the best available opponent?
Of course not.
Of course not. Jermell Charlo has never even fought at 160. Now, here's the hypocrisy. You were looking to weight drain Badu Jack, who's 2 weight classes above you, to dare to be great, and now you want to carry someone who's 2 weight classes below you up to your weight class. Look, that's the hypocrisy. You wanted to move up to weight drain Badu Jack, who was 2 weight classes above you, but now you're doing the exact same thing Badu Jack was looking to do to you. You're looking to do to Jermell Charlo. Bro, this is so hypocritical. Canelo is, for me, any fighter who consistently does not take the best available opponent, and we can all agree Benavidez is the best available opponent, for me, that's just, you do not deserve to be the champion at that weight class. You don't deserve to be the champion at that weight class if you're not taking the best available opponent.
Right, so you've heard from 2 people now who are very against it. That speaks to somebody now that I think is going to be very for it. Mr. James Toon. Try and keep it short.
What do you want the man to do?
Fight Benavidez.
What do you want the man to do? It's not
Fight
an easy
Benavidez.
fight to make. He's already stated his reasons as to why he doesn't want to fight Benavidez. He's
Well,
made
well,
that very,
remind the
very
people.
crystal
Remind
clear.
the
If
people.
you know, you know. You know,
Remind the people what that is.
I'm not gonna disagree. Maybe he doesn't want to fight people that come from certain places. Maybe he does. Maybe he's
And you're
another
happy
of
with
those
that, are you?
people. It's not me. I'm not
So
the
when
one
he
there.
fought,
You know,
when he
It's
fought
like-
Angulo, what country was he from?
well, these are different things, you know. You're bringing in pedantics now, different times, different places. Now he's the man. He can pick and choose who he wants to fight. I mean, you're saying he's doing exactly what you criticised him for doing against Badu Jack. But if he's doing the same thing, surely what he was trying to get Badu Jack to do
he's
isn't
not
such a
saying
bad
this
thing.
with a straight face.
Huh?
You can't, can you?
How straight do you want my face to be?
You don't
know,
believe
do you want me
what
to get
you're
a ruler
saying.
and put it next to it and show
We
you?
should give him a cap.
Is
Because you're
Canelo
Mr.
going to
Cap.
weight drain himself to fight Charlo?
Perhaps.
No, he's not. He's fighting at full 168 pounds.
Look, at the end of the day, is it the fight that I would put him in there with? No, I would choose Dimitri Bivol, but he's damned if he do, he's damned if he don't. It doesn't matter who he goes in there with. Everyone is just on his back now. I don't think he's necessarily doing the 100% correct things, but it's not on him. As I said many times, you're saying that he should be stripped of these championships. Get the commissions involved to strip him of the belts.
No, I do agree with you with that.
Get the commissions involved.
but
it's not on
you
him
see,
to do it.
therein lies the problem because they're not going to do that, are they? Because they want their 3% sanctioning fee of Canelo's
Well,
money.
there you go. Exactly.
So listen, man, it's an absolute farce. And that being said, I do actually think that Jamel Charlo will be a step up from his brother because his brother
Exactly.
not fought
So
for
he's
2
so he's
years.
chosen the harder opponent.
Yeah, but
he's
not
still
the
getting
hardest,
criticised.
Yeah,
not the hardest
he's-
opponent.
No, but
Yeah,
why
but
not
he's
just
building
fight
up to
Benavidez,
it.
though?
He's
Why-
building up to Benavidez. He's building up to it.
At this point, I think it's only right that we bring in the voice of reason, Mr. Nick Francis, for some
Listen,
unqualified
listen.
debate.
At the end of the day, everyone's going to focus on Canelo ducking.
Yes.
But Charlo's also ducking someone. That is going to go massively.
Yeah, it's a double duck.
It's a double duck. Charlo probably knows he's ready to roll over and get his belly tickled for some money, and he'd rather do that against the fighter with the larger name and status because he knows that there's a very good chance that he gets starched by Zeus. So it is a double duck, and I just don't want that to go under the radar.
Charlo could say he's daring to be great.
No. He will say that. He definitely will.
And let's not forget, if you're Charlo, and I am going to say this, right? I'm not a silly man. The money that he's going to get for this fight
Yes.
will be way in excess of anything he's
100%.
ever earned before. So
100%.
he's a professional fighter at the end of the day. And like we always say in boxing, you're one punch away from serious injury. So every fight could be your last. So I don't begrudge a fighter trying to maximize his earnings. And there is a little bit of daring to be great. But my
Not from
problem with
Canelo.
this is, where is the structure? Where is the order? What happens to boxing now when you just get fighters, they get to a certain level, and then they just pick and choose who they're going to fight?
The only thing I would disagree with and challenge you on is when you said that, Canelo, I don't know if you said Canelo or things like this, but if you said Canelo, when you said it's damaging the sport,
Yeah,
I would just challenge that, but just in terms of it just being Canelo alone, because we have
No, I
the
didn't
same
say it was just him
okay,
alone.
fine. So I was going to say we have the same
because
problem with
Charlo's
the
doing
heavyweights,
it.
but we have the same problem with the heavyweights. We have the same problem with so many people.
But-
if there's somebody with the name, the size of Canelo that's not taking the big risky fights, all we needed was. We've got it now with Spence Crawford. All we need is an AJ Fury. Those guys have the opportunity now. People who are not the number one or number two name, the two biggest names in the world boxing, to be Tyson Fury and Canelo, that are with those types of records. But there's opportunity there for somebody else to capitalize. But if
course.
everybody's not going to take that moment, then what are we going to do?
Can I say this though? And this is in defense of Jamal Charlo. If Jamal Charlo does win, he'll be the first fighter in history to be undisputed in 2 weight classes.
Do you think he's got a chance of winning? I think he has a chance.
I think he has a chance because if we see the same,
Did we see someone undisputed in 2 weight club?
never. We've never at the same time. Never.
Clarissa
Oh, not at
Shields.
the same time. No.
At
Not at the same time. Okay, got you.
Same time, you'd be undisputed at 154 and 168.
Chantal Cameron? Are they fighting for her?
No, and even so, like in the men's
What's up
era,
with you and Chantal Cameron, man?
Yeah.
You keep
No,
bringing up.
I couldn't remember whose belts they were fighting.
So
What's going on here,
I
Nick,
think there's a
mate?
little-
You're aware
Well,
it's a
that kinda
boxing
show.
show, right? And I'm talking about boxing.
No, but every question that's been out there tonight, you brought her name up.
that could be
Something on your mind?
one of
I think there
that
is.
could have been one of Jamal Charlo's like his ambition, like that. If he does pull that off, that he goes down in the history books. So
I don't think that's going to happen because number one, realistically, I do think he's a better opponent than his brother at this stage, but he's not fought at super middleweight before. It's a significant step up in weight, and even if he does, because he's not going to knock Canelo out.
Nope.
So if it goes the distance, do you really think with that 3-fight contract that Canelo's just signed, they're going to give Charlo the fight on points?
What do you guys think
the
about that?
skeptic in me says absolutely no way.
What do you guys think about that 3-fight contract, by the way?
I feel
Well, it always depends
What
on
do
who
you think
they're
about
gonna
him
fight.
jumping ship?
Well, I know exactly why they put in Jamal Charlo. They're not going to put Benavidez at the front because they just lose all their money. So they're going to give him an easier fight because they know they need
build
to
up to
stretch
Benavidez.
that contract out.
Yeah,
So
but
would-
what do you
would
think
your
about him
guys'
doing
views
that, though,
on
and jumping
him-
ship?
Sorry to cut you, but would your views on him change then if he was building up to that Benavidez fight for fight number 3?
No.
No, I'm
Nope.
with Shane. I think the guy's. I think it's what he's
But
doing.
you
man.
guys said about Charlo, to be fair, that you understand him trying to maximize revenue. So maybe if Canelo says, okay, fine, I'll fight Benavidez, but if I lose to him first, that scuppers revenue. So if I fight him
No,
third, that maximizes revenue.
No, but if it also, you could also say that he's waiting for Benavidez to either be too big at 168 or for someone to beat Benavidez.
Why couldn't he have fought Benavidez first?
He should have. He should have fought Benavidez before he even took the
Why
deal.
are we in a situation whereby this guy is just ducking? It's just like
He's not
there's
ducking, he's just choosing his
come on,
fights,
man.
mate. He's choosing his picking and choosing them. As I said, he's
He's
getting the
picking-
easiest
he's
fights for the
picking-
most.
he's picking cherries. That's what he's picking.
He's not ducking, man. If he wants to pick Bournemouth cherries, he can do that all he wants. And he's picking his promotions, as I said before. Quite a bit of a slant on Matchroom to go and piece the scene because they've built such a big thing around Canelo now. Eddie Hearn has invested so much of that DAZN
He's not with Eddie
sponsorship
Hearn
into.
anymore.
I know that's what I mean.
That's what he's
Like
saying.
before, he invested so much into him. His two big cash cows were AJ and Canelo. AJ's. Shit's hit the fan there, and now Canelo's left
But
him.
PBC
What do you think about this whole DAZN deal now?
PBC is the place to be right now. Let's be honest. They bought Crawford Spence, Ryan Garcia Tank. They're bringing Canelo over to the platform. PBC is the place to
It's
be.
about time. They've been bloody dormant for a long time. They've waited ages.
They had pay-per-views like Charles Martin and
That's
Ortiz. I mean, it's
PBC
horrible.
was horrible for like nearly a decade, and now they're giving us some
not
good
that long.
5-6 years.
Yeah,
But
they-
Over 5 years.
Upon reflection of all of this, would you say that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom leaving Sky Sports for DAZN has been a failure? Or would you say it's
Just
been a
before you
success?
answer that question, we should alert the viewers to the fight we're just about to watch. Ben Whitaker,
Whitaker.
Yep.
Olympic silver medalist, he's about to take on an opponent, Beluski. Well, what can I say? I mean, Beluski does have a decent record. I think he's had something like 20 fights, 15 wins. But you look at the two of them side by side, and
Should be an
immediately
easy night's work.
you think to yourself, yeah, it's going to be fairly straightforward win
Sound
for
like James there.
Ben Whitaker.
Ben Whitaker's a bit of a showman, though, isn't he? So he's going to try and put on a bit of a show for the fans. Like that's he's a bit of the flamboyance, and that's his style. So that's what you're going to look to see from him.
3 fights, 3 wins, 2 KOs.
He reminds me a little bit of a tall Max Holloway. Taller.
What?
if anyone knows
Max
who that is.
Holloway, the UFC fight.
Yeah. Reminds me. Like his movement, the way, his swagger, the way he
Well,
walks
Max
around. the way he
Holloway's
carries
from
himself.
Hawaii. Ben Whitaker's black, so
You
quite
know,
often
I'm
you get
saying
that.
is in the swagger, the way
You know
he
who he does-
moves,
you know who he
his
does
movement, the way he
remind me of a
punches.
I know what you meant.
A little bit.
I
Of.
don't know.
You
what
know
it
who he
means.
does
You
slightly.
can see the similarities, though, can't you?
terms
You
of
can
his-
see the similarities.
There's no similarity.
Sorry to
Of course there is.
Who he does remind me of in terms of dimensions is Shaq and Pitters a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
tall, dangly.
Shaq and
long-
Pitts is even taller.
Look, he's winking at the
Yeah.
camera. He's doing a little kiss. Might even blow you a kiss
I
goodbye.
told you he's very flamboyant. He likes
Is
to
that
be
the
a bit of a-
Vuvuzelas? They fucking whipped out the Vuvuzelas for
Didn't
this
you
one.
see him fight
They look
live?
like 2 separate weight classes.
Laurie, didn't you see him fight live? The other.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. He's very talented, very good, and he's obviously very young and very flamboyant,
Yeah.
very arrogant, and
Which I like to see at this age, you know.
well,
confidence.
yeah, I've got no real problem.
Damn
with
right,
it.
mate. I
The
like
only
the
problem I
cockiness.
would have with it is if you do all that stuff, all the talking, all the showboating,
And then get ironed.
and then no, not even that, where you just don't look that good. But has to be said, in his last fight, he was doing a lot of showboating.
A la Sonny Edwards.
But with the the difference was, man, he got the guy out of there in spectacular fashion, and I think he'll be looking to do a similar job tonight. Anyway, the first bell's just gone. Ben Whitaker's
look at
already
that. He's
looking
so
sharp.
slick,
he landed
mate.
3 jabs back to back.
The light
Coming
rangy.
forward,
You
Shane will
just-
like that.
You never
of
want to
course.
see guys as the opponent. You never want to see long, rangy guys that have speed. It's
got
just
that
horrible. It's just
whipping-
horrible.
Whipping overhand right hand.
He throws his shot, the jab from the
Very
hip
sharp.
and from the shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's
You know,
that's a proper
You know
jab.
one
there.
thing about the light heavyweight division in the UK? There's a lot of names, a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
names stacked in the UK.
Even
light heavyweight.
outside the UK, it's just a stacked division generally.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got Callum Smith, Callum Johnson's still there.
No, Callum Johnson's retired.
Oh, he retired. Yeah,
did,
he
yeah.
retired. Yeah, he retired. You got obviously.
Oh, good
it's a
counter hook
Oh,
there.
good body shot.
He's looking very sharp.
Because I'm quite heavy, when I used to box, I would fight people generally that were taller and slimmer than me because I'm quite
look at
short
that.
and square.
Doubling up
Three
with the right hand.
right hands in a row.
If they're quick, it's just a nightmare because, the Belushi's just going to struggle to land
He
anything.
looks out of sorts here. He looks
Well,
like,
it's just-
this
he
could be the
just-
first round job.
Oh, he's like a drunk man on stilts. This guy,
His punch selection is terrific.
It is.
mate.
His
it is.
punch selection is
It's absolutely
terrific.
The
nothing
thing is,
coming
he
back.
has no fat in his movements
But
either.
he's
Everything
too
is so
quick.
slick and
Ben Whitaker
precise.
is too far. Every time Belushi throws a punch, and I've been in this situation myself, and I'm throwing a punch, and as I throw a punch, the punch hits me, and I think, where the hell did that come
Do
from?
you know what he will have though moving forward? He's very tall with a very
Slim,
long
lean
frame.
yeah.
So fighters who know how to get underneath
Yeah,
and
hit
throw
that body.
over shot, they will be able to hit the body shots and go over the top.
Yeah.
Like I remember.
And look at Belushi. He's looking right in his eyes and looking for the headshots, and that's where he's getting himself into problems. Obviously, there's a massive golf in class here, but not once has he looked for a body shot.
you know what style? Obviously, this guy's a drug cheat, but you know what style would have.
Look at that little shoulder shimmy, mate. I told you this is prime Max Holloway.
But yeah, Laurie, you know what style? Even though he's a drugs cheat, which would have been good test for Whitaker,
Baby
Keith
Cole,
Pascal. You know, someone who goes underneath.
Oh, look, he's welcoming. He's waking up the crowd now. He's laughing. He's waking up the crowd.
I'm the best boxer in UFC.
So obviously
baby.
he's outclassing him here. Would you say you should just go for the finish, or should you keep entertaining the crowd?
Mate, do what he's doing, mate. That's how you get
he-
yourself big. That's how you get the money. You got to do stuff
Oh,
like
he's-
this. Okay, that's a little bit too far.
He's starting to get a bit gimmicky at the moment. But
Yeah, no, that one was a bit
I
too
actually
far.
think that although he's piecing his guy up, he's not piecing him up enough to justify.
Exactly.
Do you mean the balance of showboating to quality boxing is a little bit off, but he's not far
No,
off.
I liked the shoulder rolls. I like that, but I don't know why he was like doing some B-Tech floss in the middle of the ring there. I don't know what that was.
if you look at like some dudes who's way more accomplished than Ben Whitaker, and the levels that they want to be at. You know why I love Dan Aziz? Doesn't really do all of that. I put on the hard hat and get to work. And that's what I want to see, Put on the hard hat and get to work.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, but then, you also have to factor into the equation that boxers have different characters and different
Facts.
Yeah, but look, it's not just a fight. This is an art form, all right? This is what I like about people like this. People like Adesanya, people like McGregor, they're creating art in there.
Yeah, it's a
They're
boxing
creating
show.
memories. Yeah, but I'm just talking about fighters in general. Fighting is an art form. And the way he's doing it, there's no fat in his movement. It's all slick. It's all
No,
precise.
his
it's very
punch selection
technical.
is amazing, but
It's
the
not
whole
just about
dancing
scrapping
and
it out.
whining and all of that.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. But everything he's doing,
He was
it's
a
so
big
precise.
fan of-
He's painting an image in there.
He was a big
He's
fan of
building
Prince
canvas.
Nazim, and I think you're seeing a lot of that. there
Exactly.
with
Like
Shogun.
it's not just necessarily put your hard hat on, go and scrap it out, slug it out with
Daniel,
someone.
Cha-
You know,
Daniel
you got
Chambers in the chat
entertain
said,
a little
stop
bit.
hating. He's a talented fighter.
I'm not hating.
No,
Who's
there's no
hating?
hating.
Who's
there.
hating? He's
Daniel
amazing.
Chambers,
fat.
you're hating yourself. There's no one hating you. Different opinions are being expressed. That's what boxing's all about, my friend. He
He's
looked very good in that first round.
100%. His punch selection was amazing. His jab was amazing as well. He's
Okay,
had
starting
good
to
defense.
go to the body now, Belushi. That's much better.
Oh, he's
He
had one
didn't
shot
land.
to the body.
I know, but he had zero. That's more than 100% of the last round. He's got to try and fit. He's not just got to stand there and just get starched.
You do raise a fair
He
point.
does keep
Well,
his head quite high in the air though, Ben Whitaker though. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy is too funny.
His head
It's
movement.
Canelo Whitaker, isn't it? No, not Canelo Whitaker. It's Emmanuel Augustus. It's Emmanuel Augustus in there.
Drunken
But
master.
yeah, it's like a mix between Prince Nassim and Michael Venom Page. He's got like the yeah, because he's
Can
got
you
the.
stop
He's
bringing
got
up
the.
MMA fighters?
What? Oh yeah. Oh, Prince Nassim is an MMA
Michael
fighter.
Venom
isn't he?
Page.
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
but as in the
Prince
drunken
Nassim-
style. You literally said it yourself. The drunken style. He made that famous.
Yeah, but he just brought up a name called Emmanuel Augustus.
Wait. Who made that?
Oh, that's
who
a
made
good
the
shot.
drunken style famous?
VP.
You think Michael Venom Page made the drunken style famous?
Brosio, he did.
Yeah, all right.
Did you
Emmanuel
just say
Augustus, about 20 years before that.
Did you say Prince Nassim
Yeah.
is an MMA fighter?
No,
I thought-
I said
No,
no. He said, "Why are you bringing up MMA fighters?" And I said, "Oh
No,
yeah."
because you
Prince
brought up
Nassim's
Max
in
Holloway, which is
sarcastic.
ridiculous because you
No,
can't.
it's not.
There's nothing in comparison.
You
with Ben
literally said he
Whitaker
had
and
a
Max
drunken
Holloway.
style. The Max Holloway was different, mate.
What is
Nick
the- what is
knows
the
what I'm
comparison?
talking about, mate. If you know, you know.
I
That's
don't.
all I'm saying.
I've seen Max Holloway fight.
Mate,
it's nothing
I'm
like
talking
it.
about the showboating, the little winks to the camera, the little smiles, all the little like nonchalant
Oh, okay.
things
All
he's
right,
doing.
Fair enough.
Because I remember when we used to see Eubank do all of the showboating, and I used to hate it. His
Nah,
one's
that
not
was
bad.
beautiful, man.
Nah, I used to hate it.
That like 13-second knockout, and he turns straight to the camera, and he's like,
It was substanceless to me.
"Nah." See, I like that, man. You're
weird,
too
isn't it?
you're too
Some
straight down it, man. Have a bit, enjoy the entertainment of it. Enjoy the
Some
fun.
people just rub you up the wrong way when they do it, and it's just you can't. There's something about them, you know. I'm
Do you
enjoying
not
watching-
admire a shithouse though?
It depends. It depends on the person. I'm admiring Whitaker's work so far,
Yeah,
but he is
definitely.
really taking his foot off the gas in terms from the boxing perspective in this second round. It's much more.
No, I don't agree. I think he's still landing.
I
some
think
good
he's
shots.
still winning,
Yeah,
but
he's still landing.
I don't.
Like we said about before, he's not winning as comfortably as he could do. He's quite early in the pro ranks. It's different what we were saying before about the Natasha Jonas fight, who's towards the tail end of her career. He needs this. He needs experience. He needs
of
rounds.
course, and I don't think he's not winning enough to be dancing and whining in the ring.
Agreed. He's
That's-
winning, but not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man's out here moving like it's carnival.
But
Yeah.
what you don't understand is that clip of him dancing in the ring is going to get put on TikTok. It's going to get put on Instagram. It's
I
going to get
do
put on
under- I
YouTube.
literally do
Everyone's going to
understand.
go like, "Oh, who's this guy? I want to see his next
ever
fight."
heard of-
It's good
Can I ask
marketing,
you a
mate.
question? You ever heard
It's
of-
genius
can I ask you a question?
marketing.
You ever heard of a guy called Jared Anderson before?
What's that got to do with the price of bacon, mate?
Yes,
The
on that.
reason why I'm saying it is he's a young dude just like Whitaker, and he just irons guys out. And you know why he gets retweeted? Because guys are rendered unconscious. That's
Man,
why.
There's multiple
only
styles
two
to it,
rounds.
man.
I
Multiple
still-
styles to
the
it.
stoppage is still on.
No way is the right way.
No, I'm not.
It is,
I'm not. I'm
it
not
is, yeah.
saying that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's too early to be whining and grinding in the ring.
It's like Oleing for every pass in a
Carnival
football
set.
game when it's 1-0.
Literally.
It's just like it's a bit early. It's
Yeah,
a bit
fam.
early. Do you know what I mean? But
Man
the
did
thing
100
is,
step overs.
but it's got Sugar Hill, right? So you know he's got someone in the corner that you have a
He's
lot.
not sat down between rounds.
He has someone in the corner that you are confident is going to be able to. He's not going to
yeah.
outshine his coach, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
of
got someone
course.
that's going to hold him,
Keep him grounded.
keep him grounded. Exactly.
Quite hard to do for such a tall
I
guy.
think with showboating in it's very much an individual thing. It's what you like in it. I know people that really love that stuff. Ala James. I know people who hate it. I know some people who
Ala Shane.
50-50.
I don't hate it. One of my favorite fighters was Pernell Whitaker. I used to like Roy Jones Jr. But it was obviously you pick and choose when to do it, innit? So I'm not saying he's
And there is that point where it can get a bit too much.
I just think that if he gets, obviously, it's, like I say, it's early in his career. If he gets to a point of fringe world title and he's finds himself in deep waters, these are the moments where he should probably be using. I understand what you're saying about getting the money,
What
getting the
a
fame,
shot.
but these are the moments where he should probably be using getting that experience.
But
before he gets
also,
there.
he's having fun out there. He's enjoying it. Maybe that's something that, you know, gets him in the right headspace. Maybe he
Yeah.
needs to feel arrogant. Maybe he needs to be enjoying things and not taking things so
Sure, again.
seriously.
And let's
Some
face it as
people
well,
have
Ben
that
Whitaker's
mentality.
approach is going to be that there's going to be a lot of people that don't like it, want to see him getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But they are going to watch his next fight.
yeah,
But
yeah.
look at it. His head movement is phenomenal,
terrific.
man. It's so slick.
Terrific. Nothing short of
His
phenomenal.
reaction, this is the thing, this style of fighting only works so well when you're a lot younger and
Oh,
you
he
have
took
that
one there.
reaction
Right hand.
speed and you can
Good right
time
hand.
Good pull
everything
shot
so much
counter.
better.
It's the
Body
counter.
shot.
That's, do you
And
know-
again,
do you know what I like about that? He caught a punch from Beluski and immediately went back and said, "Oh yeah," and got on the aggression.
Oh, look
Straight
at
away.
this!
Look at that.
Oh,
That's great.
mate!
Do you know,
That's
who,
what
do you know
you
who needs
do.
to watch that? Anthony Joshua, because I swear.
As soon as he took that shot, he's like,
as
yeah,
soon as he
F
took
this.
that shot, he showed that he did have the
no, but
ability
to be fair to Anthony Joshua, when he was at this level, he was doing that
Yeah.
and worse to guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think,
Think
that's
of that
a fair
Dillian White
comparison, to be
knockout.
honest.
I mean,
No, but
them-
the way he
his
quadrupled
punch-
up on the right
his
hooks
punch
there.
selection is amazing. I don't think there's anyone that I've seen in this country
I was
that
gonna say
shows
Terence
this
Crawford, yeah.
no, in this country
Yeah,
that
do
shows
that.
this level and variety of punch selection. He threw 3 uppercuts in a row.
Because that's why I think Crawford wins that fight, because he just doesn't really pick he picks the right punches at the right time.
I didn't know Crawford was fighting Ben Whitaker.
I'm confused about that. I'll laugh because you're my brethren, but I'm confused about that joke still.
left hook to the
No,
body.
you were talking about Ben Whitaker.
We've been talking about
Suddenly
other
you referenced
fighters.
Crawford.
We've been talking about other fighters.
good
on
overhand
fight.
right.
Overhand right.
Good overhand right.
Body shot again.
I reckon the
That body
referee's-
shot is nasty.
the referee's looking
Like,
closely.
He doesn't like that body shot.
If there's
at
another
all.
salvo, this could be it.
Body shot again.
We're in the last minute. I reckon this gets stopped in this round. What do you think?
Body
Nah, I
shot
think
again.
maybe if stopped in the 4th.
I
Because
think
he'll
he
always
knocks him
hug.
out
If
in
he's in
5
trouble,
seconds.
he'll hug him or something.
To be fair to Belisky, he's trying to fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't really have much other option.
Good body.
If he sits back, he's just getting peppered like Sam.
You could find a soft spot on the canvas and just lay there
look at
like
that.
some of them would.
I can't lie, yeah. I'm really, really, really impressed with Whitaker's overall game.
It's beautiful, isn't it? This is the type of fight I like to
body
watch.
shot.
Everything is just
that's
so
how you fight
clean.
for a body shot. Look at that. Trying
You know
to
what
fight
I
his way
will
through a
say
body
though?
shot.
Look at that head movement, mate.
You know what I will say though? I always like to criticize at times. If there's
We
one
know.
thing I would say as a coach moving forward, if I was his coach, is when he does do that, like his right hand that stays home sometimes drops. So it's just like
He's
that.
very open,
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? So he can get countered. And when you have a very tall frame, you have to be very cautious
And
of
with
that.
with the head movement, his hands do
Look at
drop
this.
when he does
Yeah.
the rolling back.
Yeah.
His hands drop. You know, it will. And the thing is, it will happen at some point in his career. He will not go his whole
Yeah.
career and not get caught. You know, it's just what happens then.
Of course.
Belushi's also not sitting down between rounds. I don't know, is he seen Whitaker do it and trying to trying to psych him out? I don't know.
Maybe.
Because he probably needs a seat.
Definitely.
The
Maybe
thing,
he's worried that if he sits down, he might not get back up again.
Yeah, that lactic acid
But
build
one
up.
thing I would say about Beluski is that he's shown a lot of toughness and a lot of bravery.
yeah.
He's trying
just
to
got
fight.
a comment here from Flex is saying he's fighting some scrub. Well, what I would say to that is you can't expect Ben Whitaker in his 3rd professional
Fourth.
fight to be taking fourth, to be taking on killers. So it's a learning process.
And that's a really good point Laurie said, because in 175 there's killers.
Yeah.
There's definitely killers out there, so you got to be very cautious.
I mean, let's
what
have it
risks
right.
you
Ben
take.
Whitaker was a top-class amateur, so he would have fought better guys than this
Definitely.
when he was in the amateurs. But this is the pro game. You got to start from somewhere.
The
and
pro
work your way
grade.
up, so.
The thing that makes it really impressive for me is that he's shown everything. He's shown the arrogance, he's shown the class, he's shown the slick movement. But like you said, the second he took one shot, bang, you could see that switch flick in his head. Just all-out aggression, quadruple right hooks, just bang,
Devil advocate. Has he shown the single punch power? Devil's advocate. That's a
Yeah,
question to
well,
the
not
panel.
maybe not single punch power, but he's
I don't
shown
think
like
he never was a
that
one
right
punch
hook is looking lethal.
hitter quitter.
I just asking, you know.
No, I think he's got decent power. But I don't think he's been a one-punch KO artist.
Most people with that frame are going to have good power, but yeah, he's not going to be hitting as hard as the real heavy hitters in the division.
If you think about it, he's with Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill famously from Emmanuel Stewart. Who did Emmanuel Stewart coach? Tommy Hearns. He could try and adopt that tall, lanky, wiry frame who's got power and behind the heavy jab. He could try and have that style, you know?
Only once in a lifetime does someone walk into your gym and hit as hard as
Yeah, I know.
as Hearns does. So and then you build the rest around
it's
it.
just because
but-
you know when you're tall.
But you know what's interesting about Tommy Hearns is that he had a lot of amateur fights, hundreds, and he wasn't known as a big knockout puncher in the amateurs. But I think when he turned pro, you punch a little bit different. Obviously, there's more rounds, and you've got more time to set your shots up.
Definitely. And plus, in the amateurs, it's more about scoring each punch. You know, you have to have, it's quantity, not quality in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Good body shot again.
You have a lot of amateur fights, Shane.
No, I haven't, you know. I haven't.
So what is your like boxing background? Obviously you got into it from a very young. No, I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. As in, you got into it like, how old were you when you first started boxing? This kind of thing.
Well, literally all my family love boxing. Like, they love boxing. So even if you go to my house, like certain nights, there'll be so many people. Like, if there's a big fight, there will be people in my house for boxing. So that's one thing. But in terms of actual, like, amateur background, I have none. But I studied boxing like my whole entire life, though.
So you've just been
good
like in the
shot.
gym training since you were like 5, 6.
Nah, I would even say that young. I would even say that young.
I think,
but I've
I
been
think he's
studying
on the verge
boxing
of being
since 5,
stopped.
6
How long
still.
we got left now?
16 seconds.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't think so. Yeah, and maybe not here. It's just he's going to hear the 10-second clap. Good counter punch there.
Yeah, Beluski is trying.
Yeah.
And let's face it as well, he came into this fight with a winning record. 20 fights, 15 wins. So I think
Good opponent.
Flex is a little bit
A little bit harsh.
disingenuous
Good
by
good
calling him a
opponent
scrub.
selection as well, where he's obviously, not going to cause too many problems to Ben Whitaker.
Bring him
but
rounds,
But he's going to. But they're going to be not competitive rounds, as in like it could go either way, 50-50. But he's going to fight. It's not like a proper tin can that he's just going to knock him out.
How
in
old
2
is
rounds. Who?
Ben Whitaker.
26.
He's got a lot of time left. He's got because you think about it, light heavyweight, and he's got a frame that can fill out and probably move to cruiserweight. He's probably maybe 2 or 3 years away from a world
he's not
title.
at his physical prime yet.
So maybe in like 2 or 3 years, once the division's kind of settled, you got guys like Beterbiev and Bivol who's probably moved on. He may be able to get a world title at that stage.
I got a question here from South London's finest. It says, what's your guys' opinions on Daniel Dubois? Is he the most overrated fighter in boxing?
I'm not going to make my opinion because I've made my opinion over the years of Daniel Dubois.
No, that's how I met you.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never been impressed with Daniel Dubois. I don't like any fighter that doesn't have great defense. So that will tell you who I am. I don't like any fighter that doesn't have great defense.
Do you think he's got a chance against Usyk? And that sounds
Oh, no
like a silly
chance.
question.
Like a 10%, 15%
He has a
chance.
puncher's chance.
Yeah, puncher's chance. But that southpaw stance, the lack of footwork.
That hands down.
You know what?
Ben Whitaker, he's
Actually,
been
I've
caught
just
couple
done
of times.
a little bit more research here. Again, you're talking
On
about
MMA
his,
fighters.
No, about his opponent's winning record. Yeah,
Yeah, but we know he's
No,
winning
no,
record.
let's have a dive
It's
into
gonna
it,
be
mate.
geographical,
Let's have a
mate.
dive into it. So his last fight he won against Joseph Holub. Do you want to know what that guy's record was?
Not really, because I know. what you're
5
gonna
wins, 1 draw, and 116 losses. So clearly a pretty credible opponent. Then he lost to a guy 8-0, lost to a guy. So anyone with a winning record, it seems he loses to. Beat a guy 11 wins, 47
What's
losses.
your point?
Yeah, exactly.
My point is you can turn around and say, oh, he's got a winning record, this, he's got a winning record, that. They're sponged winning records. When
Of course.
When
Yeah,
you're
but-
handed easy people,
Yeah, but we know
you can't
this.
turn around
This
and be
is
like,
his
yeah,
fourth
he's got a
fight.
winning record. No, I'm not talking about Ben Whitaker, but I'm saying as in when you were using that as a
No,
comparison
but
about...
we know this.
But there are
we're
plenty of
saying,
people in boxing you could put him in there with who don't have winning
Yeah,
records.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
he's
point.
not. But
It
anytime he's come up against someone half decent,
It doesn't matter.
No, but we're not
doesn't-
saying it
doesn't
as a
matter.
comparison for him to be tested. We're saying it's a good match selection in the fact
No,
that this guy's gonna
it's
bring
all
him
right.
round.
It's all right. I'm just saying.
Even from a
it's-
psychological perspective, there aren't a lot of people with winning in the world of boxing. There aren't
Yeah, of
many
course.
people.
No,
that
but
have
I
winning
know. But my
records.
point is, you see this so many times as well, and people be like, "Oh, he's being tested. He's being put in with a guy who's 9 wins, 0 losses."
didn't say
And-
he's being tested.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general
I
in
think
boxing, you see
with
that so many
respect, I
times.
think-
No, so many times you see they're like, "Oh, he's being properly
Is it-
tested
is it
this time.
this
He's
time?
going up against a guy that's
Okay,
9-0,"
can I ask you a
and then you
question?
look at
Can I
his
ask you a
9-0
question, James?
record,
Can I ask you a
and his
question?
opponents
Can I ask
have
you
a
a question?
combined record of about 5
James,
wins and 200
James,
losses.
James,
It's
James, does
ridiculous.
that apply to what's happening right now? Yes or no?
Of course, it's an example.
So why
I'm
bring it up?
dilu-
Why
What do
bring
you
it
mean,
up?
Why bring it up?
Why would you bring up
Why
his
would I
resume?
bring it up? Because you were talking. Because Flex said he's fighting a bum, and Laurie was like, "Well, he's got a winning record." This, and it just
He
brought
does
me
have a
onto a
winning
bigger
record.
point. Do you always stay
That was
linear
a
on
statement
everything?
of fact.
He
it
does
was
have a
statement
winning
of fact,
record.
but exactly, and that led
Yeah,
me
but
onto a greater point where facts
not
can be
being funny,
deceiving.
but
You're just describing how boxing works.
yeah,
Exactly,
I mean,
and I'm saying there's a big problem in the sport.
It's not a
We're here to
problem.
talk- It's a
yeah,
big problem. It's a huge
in that. It's a
problem.
bigger problem. Oh, that's a great left
hand.
hook.
Great left
It's a
hand.
huge problem. That's
And
why
he's
you see
fighting
so many
back. The same guy that
people
you're
with
dissing.
stat
Look,
padding.
he's
Lovely.
fighting back.
It's winning
Listen,
experience.
He's
This guy
taking
is a
piss,
decent
yeah.
opponent for Ben Whitaker at this stage of his career.
Of course
And I
he
Oh,
think
well, that's fair enough. That's the point.
you
but
picking
I'm just-
apart his record, I just
This
think
is
it's a bit
irrelevant.
silly.
Look,
to
mate,
be
it's
It is
ridiculous.
proof because Ben Whitaker didn't knock it. Do you remember when?
That's like saying Alan Shearer is a top goal scorer in the Premier League, and you go, "Oh, most of his goals have come against low-level opponents."
Look, I'm sorry, man. How are you going to put him in
there?
there with a guy that's got 5 wins and 116 losses? How do you even have 5 wins and 116 losses? How
James,
does that
the
even
nature of
happen?
boxing.
James.
That's the nature of not at the world level and not at this level.
James,
that's you're just
this
describing how
opponent
boxing works.
tonight, as far as I'm concerned, is decent enough. for
And he
Ben
done his
Whitaker.
job. He's
Yeah.
definitely done his
He's
job.
giving him rounds. He's not laid down. He's very tough.
Mate, that's registered manslaughter. Look at all the red on the guy that he just beats
but
record.
I've seen you do fight selection. How many times have you seen someone get a guy who we think is going to do well, and in the first shot they get knocked out in the first round? This guy's actually bringing him rounds. He's testing him enough where he still has to be on the
Ben
ball.
Whitaker's fights, this guy is giving him, I wouldn't say like a test in terms of winning, but he's hung around more than all the others.
And he's going to take more from this fight than any other fight. So
it's a learning process.
I'm not criticising Ben Whitaker. I think Ben Whitaker.
I think you're
being unfair to.
I think you're overstating.
No, I'm saying.
I don't even know what his point is.
My point is that that's a huge problem in boxing, in my opinion. I don't want to see. I don't want to see. I don't want to see loads of people with 15 and 20-0 records when about 15 of those fights against people that
I don't want to
see to lose.
This is the same guy making excuses
for Canelo.
But if one quickly, Shane, if you talk to people that know boxing, when we look at Beluski, and see his winning record, we would have known that. We assumed that ages ago.
No,
we didn't assume. We know what that means.
We knew what his
Oh
record
yeah,
was.
sorry. Kill me for making a point that's slightly different and talking about a big issue in the world of boxing, because
not
you
a
get
big
so
issue.
many
A bigger
people.
issue.
I'll tell you the big issue. Yeah,
He's
if you
journeyman,
give me a chance, the big issue with that is you get so many people with stat padded records that are undefeated, and because of that, they're so
He's not
reluctant.
undefeated.
No, I'm not giving. I'm saying in general, you get so many
That's a
people.
different point
Can
to
you
this
let me
fight.
finish my point, please? You get so many people that are stat padded to be undefeated that they don't want to lose their undefeated record. So you have so many people that are unwilling to fight each other because they want to remain undefeated for as long as possible.
Can I ask you a
What's
problem?
worse?
Wait.
Hang on. What's worse? This or Canelo
I was gonna
cherry
say the
picking his
same
way
thing.
through the division?
No, this isn't bad on Whitaker's point. I was just raising a point.
I asked you a question.
I was
What's
raising a
worse?
point.
What's worse?
Nothing. What's worse?
What Canelo's doing or what Ben Whitaker's doing here?
I don't have a problem with what Ben Whitaker's doing, and I don't have a
Can
problem
I
with what
rephrase the
Canelo's
question?
doing.
Can I you
Shout
said
out
there's a
Goona Lee in the
big
chat.
problem with stat padded records.
Yes.
What's a bigger problem? Stat padded records or what Canelo's doing?
What is Canelo doing?
A drug
Cherry
cheat,
picking.
a drug cheat that's holding the belts hostage and stopping that division.
Again, I would say one's on the
picking his
purpose, one's on the commission to sort that out. So I don't think Canelo is looking out for his own best interests.
Canelo is,
And one of them is a problem that is littered across the sport.
Goona Lee says, shout out to Goona Lee. Whitaker, no power, too flush. I'll be busting up when he gets KO'd in the
Do you know
future.
what's funny? Yeah, knowing Goona Lee, you could have known that he would take that stance.
I know, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
This is what I was saying about the showboating team. Not everyone's going to like this type of thing.
I asked the question whether you guys felt he had a single punch power, but you know what? Yeah, how much times has Beluski been knocked out? Answer me that.
How much?
question.
What?
How many times has he been knocked out?
I think he's been knocked out. He's been knocked out twice.
Who
Was
did
he knocked out or was he stopped though?
Who was he knocked out against?
He had a TK loss to Carol Ituama.
And the next one?
Is that Carol Otoma?
Ituama, yeah.
No,
And Petro Ivanov, he had a TKO loss to.
Yeah, I'm not quite familiar with neither fighters.
He looks tough enough, I'll give him that. And he is trying. He's not come here just for the payday. He's actually trying. And we can see the heavy hitting diva warming up there. She looks sharp and doing a bit of dancing as well. She's a
looks
real
a bit-
character, this woman.
She's seen the cameras in.
I can't even
cat
cat
before.
She looks like an auntie though. I can't even lie, fam. I can't lie.
We're not going to go there. Right?
Still.
That's a
We're not gonna go
violation,
I
man.
bet you wouldn't say that to her face either.
Of course, but you know me. I definitely would.
I wouldn't advise you.
Let me ask you a question.
I'll just call her auntie,
It
bro.
was Carol Otoma.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was Carol Otoma. Yeah, the way he was saying it,
I don't know, but I'm not even listening
Yeah.
to the name that he's talking
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
So he
Carol
went-
Otoma from
Itauma.
the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he stopped
Itauma.
him. He's one of the people that stopped him.
Itauma.
I don't know why you're saying it.
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
even know why
it's
you're
just
saying it like
slowing
that.
down us trying to understand what's happening.
Itauma.
And you're cussing him. He went the distance with Jack Cullen as well.
Look,
This guy went the distance with Jack Cullen,
made
so-
a point that was slightly derived from the example of him. He's not the worst example of it, but like I said, the fact that he was in there against a guy that's 5 wins and 116 losses, I think, is criminal.
Yeah. man.
Anyway,
To go from that to Ben Whitaker is, I
how
mean,
you can criticise that and be on board with what some of the stuff Canelo's doing and actually co-sign it. It's
Co-sign is
So-
ridiculous.
Co-sign.
Really quickly.
I'm not working for PBC.
Really quickly,
I'm not making the moves.
How do we judge this performance, especially after we're not going to rehash the argument during the Jonas fight, but how do we judge this performance if he is piecing him up and he's hitting him almost at will, but he actually isn't able to stop him, knock him out, and actually only got one knockdown across 8 rounds?
I think you lot make too much thing about stoppages and all that, man. You have to look at the overall performance. He's won and he's won well. He dropped the guy. He's hurt him on a few occasions. The referee nearly came in on a few occasions. Other referees, like, look at this now. Other referees would have jumped in there.
I actually,
So I'm not going to criticise him too much. The guy's tough.
I'm not going to be too critical on this performance in comparison to Natasha Jonas because he's actually shown impetus to go out and get it. I think he's also young and inexperienced, so he does need to go rounds. If I was to rate the performance out of 10, I'd probably say 7.
Yeah,
We've definitely seen skills. There's a
I'd
long
have
way.
given Natasha Jonas at 8, by the way, but there you go.
I would have given Natasha Jonas a 6. But that's because her ceiling is higher than Whitaker's one. She's not she's a world champion.
She's a world-class
She's a
fighter.
world-class fighter.
Ceiling is higher. Like
Yeah,
potential.
where she is right now is
that's
higher
not
than
ceiling.
where.
Ceiling is potential.
But she's a world champion. I don't think he will ever become a world champion under this crop of light heavyweights.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, if you were to put him in, like, if you look at the history of light heavyweights, where you've had Kovalev, Adonis, Stevenson, I don't see him ever reaching that level of that level.
Oh, look, I do think that the referee has been a little bit kind to Beluski. I think other referees would probably have pulled him out.
The problem, I think, though, is with all the showboating and everything he was doing, it looks all fine and dandy if you get him out of there, but then all of a sudden you're going to have people questioning, okay, could you have not used all this energy that you use showboating in actually getting the guy out?
Now look, he's standing there with his hands down and letting Beluski hit him because obviously Beluski's quite tired. But still, at the moment, a lot of the punches he's hit, some of the punches he's throwing are not landing clean. They're hitting gloves, they're glancing blows, they're not actually landing clean. I do agree with you. If he hits him with a couple of really clean shots and maybe drops him, then the ref will probably just wave it off. And we've got 150 people in here, so please do like the video. But yeah, as it stands, where would you see, especially you, Whitaker against the top British light heavyweights?
That's not even a question right now because this is his 4th professional fight. You can't really be like comparing him with the likes of the top echelon light heavyweights.
But some of those guys, I understand they've got more professional experience, but he
Way
has
more.
more
Amateur
overall
performance.
boxing experience than some of those guys.
Yeah,
He's not as far behind as their amateur records would suggest.
And
But I still think it's an unfair comparison.
I'm just asking.
I'll ask you this then. When you saw the likes of Anthony Yard at this stage, the likes of Wyatt at this stage, Dan Aziz at this stage, how were they dealing with opponents? And how is he? That's my question. I'm being completely objective. I want to know, like, do you feel like
50%, if he doesn't knock him out, we're going into the last round. If he doesn't knock him out,
but
we'll obviously get the win.
I
That'd be
think the difference
50%
between me and you
knockouts.
guys is I don't base all my opinions off knockouts.
But I'm not basing it on knockouts. I'm just saying, based on what you see, do you
I think he looks good, man. I think
as good as those guys?
yes.
Okay,
He's a
fair
good-looking
enough.
chap.
Fair
I
enough.
agree.
I do.
He's a
Fair
good-looking
enough.
chap.
That's fair. That's
You
all I
may
wanted
not
to
have the
ask.
punching power of an Anthony Yard, and Buatsi was getting a lot of guys out there early. But look at Buatsi recently; he struggled. So sometimes when you don't get guys out there, then you have to rely on your skill set.
Definitely.
And, I would say that Ben Whitaker's skill set is very good.
Surely your skill set should be getting guys out of there.
No, not all the time.
See,
Not
this
all
is
the time.
You
Not all
watch
the
too
time.
much MMA.
What are you talking
Skill
about,
set
man?
is not about
Fucking
one
enjoy it.
punch power.
When did I say that?
Laurie,
You don't have to use one punch power to get someone out of there.
Comment from NN saying Whitaker is another British hype job. If he steps up in competition, he's getting knocked spark out. Very flashy, very little power.
Yeah, do you notice how you use the term flashy in it? I think that's what Shane was saying. A lot of people,
Some people like
when
it,
you
some people
flashy
don't.
like that and you don't get the knockouts, that's when people turn. A bit like what you're saying about Guna Lee.
And Guna Lee's back. He said a journeyman is taking him full rounds.
No.
Was
A
that?
journeyman took Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay as he was then, rounds.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And he turned out to be the greatest fighter that
like-
ever lived.
but
Some would
like-
say.
Cassius
me-
Clay or Muhammad Ali is a
For
different.
me, I look-
different
That's a
grade,
good
mate.
shot.
I look at, like, one of my favorite fighters.
I quite like this Beluski guy.
Is Bivol. Bivol don't knock guys out, so I don't always look for the knockout,
Yeah,
Laurie.
exactly.
But in my eyes, I'm just saying, The issue that I had.
Oh, that's a great
that is
shot.
a really
There he
good
is,
shot.
there he is. Go on,
Can he
step
go
on
for
the
the
gas,
kill?
son. Here we go. Now we're cooking.
Can he finish
Now
him?
we're cooking.
Can
You
he
let him
finish
cook.
him?
This is what I'm saying about Beluski.
If you
Look,
smell-
he's trying his hardest to stay on his feet.
I would have
I
gone
like
Because he
Out.
knows that if he gets stopped, he'll get the automatic 30-day suspension, and he needs
What's
that
he
money.
doing? He's
He's holding on.
chilling.
He'd rather take a point deduction than get knocked out right now.
No, but
I
mean,
would
Whitaker-
I would
Still
go
got a
to
minute
Push him
left.
away. There you go, son. Go on, my son.
Oh, he stopped it.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your stoppage. Guna Lee. Guna Lee.
Why did it take him so long to step on the gas, though? That's my
stop.
question. mate.
Well, he wanted to get him hurt, but Beluski there looks aggrieved.
He did.
Rightly or wrongly aggrieved?
No, that's a correct stoppage, man.
Rightly or wrongly aggrieved?
Yeah, I think it's a correct stoppage. Correct.
He could have
stoppage.
got stopped earlier in the fight. I said earlier that I felt the referee was being a little bit lenient because I've seen lots of fights where the referee's gone in far quicker than
Do you-
what we saw tonight.
So so Laurie, you see when he lands a good shot and he rocks his opponent, instead of whining, would you rather him go and land more shots? I'm asking
Well, it
you.
depends.
Whining.
But that's what we saw. Did he not? Was that not what we saw? I'm
Well,
asking
that's a
question.
mad statement, mate.
Bro, did we
Whining
not
and
see-
hitting shots.
Did he not? Did we not see him do that? Oh, man,
What do you mean whining?
Well, I wouldn't go that far,
dancing. He
mate.
was whining his waist in the ring, bro. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know about
I'm
that one,
asking that
mate.
question.
I don't know what you were watching.
When he landed a good, bro, man, am I not acting like we didn't see.
No,
the
but
same thing.
sometimes as well, you got to remember when you're in the ring and you've thrown like 5-6 punch combination and the guy's not dropped, you've actually expended a lot of energy doing that. Sometimes the showboating is
to
to
cover
get
up
your-
the
yeah, to
tire.
get your
Fair
breath
enough.
back.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know what I mean? So
Well, I don't know about doing some 360 pelvic groin thrusting. I'm not sure.
Was that
that's
not what he
really-
was doing?
No, exactly. That's what I mean. I'm not sure that's exactly rejuvenating his energy tank.
overall, I thought that was a
7 out of 10.
I thought that was a very good. Say very. Yeah, I'm going to say. very
I'd go
good
7.5 because of the finish, the TKO.
Yes, the opponent wasn't. Let's be honest, he wasn't very good, but he was tough.
You were gassing
Gave
him
him
up a minute
rounds.
ago.
Well,
We weren't gassing him up. We were just saying that we think that you have disrespected him. a
yeah,
little
you
bit.
were just being totally.
No, I was
unrealistic.
No, I wasn't. I was talking about the sport as in general,
So
not just him.
you're the same man that's bigging up Canelo for cherry picking
Yeah.
and taking drugs and
Cannelo's,
doing all the other
Cannelo's
stuff.
champ.
And then you.
Well, I'm
criticise-
not
Buleski for putting up
condoning
honest
anyone
effort.
taking drugs. I don't put words in my mouth here. I don't
No, but
condone
you're
anyone
capping
from
for a
allegedly
drugs cheat.
taking.
Is he a drugs cheat? Yes or no?
Allegedly, who knows?
No, it's not
That's
alleged.
alleged.
Did I cook?
served
Did
drugs
I
out.
cook that beef?
Is he a drugs cheat? Yes
Did
or
I
no?
cook that beef?
Is he a drugs cheat?
Did I
yes or
see
no?
who he shook hands with?
Is he confirmed drugs cheat? Yes or no?
I cannot say.
You can
It's
say.
all alleged.
You can.
Did
say.
he serve a ban for taking drugs?
Look, I don't want to be under libel law.
Bro, he.
Simping 101.
I'm asking, did he serve a ban?
Shame.
Okay, look, he was
Simping 101.
Fair enough.
Even
You've
when
got
the
a
guy's
point.
got
Look,
caught,
if it's
you're still
true,
making excuses.
if it's true, and he did
What do you mean, if
purposefully
he
He
take,
served the ban for it,
if he
bro.
purposefully took supplements
here we go.
to enhance his performance that were illegal, then of course I don't condone that.
But
That's a
yeah,
horrific
you
thing.
criticising Beluski for putting
But
up an
I
honest
will say,
effort.
I think that there's about 80-90%
Oh,
of
here we
fighters
go.
out
Can
there that are on
can I
some sort of
respond to one of the
performance
comments in the one of the comments?
Class from Whitaker as well, holding up Belushi's hand there, obviously after
I
all
think
the
the only
showboating
one
and
that
stuff.
isn't on it is Amir Khan.
Who said he's when he goes up a weight class or to the next
When he goes
level.
up in competition.
And he carries his power.
The truth is, historically, the light heavyweight division hasn't been that great for British fighters. Historically, especially in the last 15 years. So, really and truly, let's be realistic.
One of our greatest ever champions was a light heavyweight, John Conte, well before your time.
That's what
admittedly,
but
yeah.
I'm saying within recent times, when you had the Roy Jones, the Andre Walls, Kovalevs, like now Beterbiev and Bivol, historically British fighters haven't had the greatest time at 175 pounds. So his ceiling shouldn't be world champion. His ceiling should be try and get British title, Commonwealth.
But
and
why,
go from
why
there.
would you rate an individual, not just Ben Whitaker, but why would you rate an individual talent based on the history of that
No,
country and that weight
the
class?
reason why is because
Because when we said
No.
Fraser Campbell's looking at British titles, you said, "No, I'm not having that."
the
Oh, you see
reason
what's
why.
going on, Ben Whitaker's.
They're blowing the horns.
Are they
Is that
horns
a
or
vuvuzela?
vuvuzelas?
Is that a
They look
vuvuzela?
like
Am I an idiot?
they look like more like horns than vuvuzelas to me.
To answer your question, though, the reason why is because I feel like that weight class has always been, it's always been harder because the talent has been so high, and it's to a level where we as British fighters just can't reach. Like when you think about it, some of the best fighters that fought at light heavyweight are some of the best fighters of all time.
Yeah,
And-
except you could say the same about heavyweight.
It's in errors though. We've had some real weak errors as well. Like you also got to remember, like heavyweight's always been hot and cold. Light heavyweight's always consistent. Like if you think about it, from one great era to a next. Like last great era was literally 5 years ago, Andre Ward. Before that, like you had Kovalev, Adonis Stevenson. Before that, like Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins. It's always been at a high level. Whereas I don't think heavyweight's always remained that consistent. So it's a hard weight class to win a world title at.
Yeah.
NN says, Laurie, it's not about me not liking Flashy. It's about him taking 8 rounds against a fighter everybody unanimously said is not on his level. Listen, NN, with respect, you don't, and I think people get carried away with stoppages and knockouts. Like, he won every round. He didn't lose a second of any of the rounds. He dominated the guy, stopped him. Okay, he didn't display one punch power, I get it, but I think you're being a bit harsh when you start to overly criticize a guy just because he didn't knock out somebody that you felt he should have knocked the guy out. He won and he won well, and that's the end of it. I thought it was a very good performance, to be honest.
I thought it was a good performance, but not necessarily a...
Okay. Out of 10, I would give him what? I would give him a 7.
I'd give him a 7
give him a 7 as well.
I'd give him a 7 as well.
So you agree with me?
Does the showboating then affect how we're seeing him? Because you are saying he shouldn't even be looking at world title level. So to see someone
after 4 fights.
No, I'm talking about for the. He didn't say now. He's saying
I'm
generally
just saying
his ceiling.
it's his ceiling.
So if we're saying that his ceiling is British level, maybe European level, does that dampen when we're looking at someone doing all the showboating and stuff like that? And you go, mate,
but you could make the argument that he's just trying to build up a fan following. But in my opinion, I just felt like the gap in quality wasn't big enough to be showboating. I've seen like fighters where people are getting absolutely schooled and they're almost carrying their opponent to do rounds and they're showboating. I don't think, like, at some times when you catch him with a good shot and you see him wobbled and then you start rolling your hips and doing all of that, like, I don't think that was necessary. But each to their own. Some people like
He's having fun in there, man. Let the man enjoy his business. And his team are in good spirits as well, man. I think he's just got a unique situation of upbeat, positive guys. You've got people dancing around, blaring vuvuzelas. You've got him rolling the shoulders.
It's interesting about the whole showboating thing. I've just received a comment here from somebody that I know well, that used to be one of my boxing clubs, actually. And he's messaged me personally and he said, I'll read it verbatim. Watching the Ben Whitaker fight, not impressed. The guy he fought was a journeyman. He should refrain from showboating until he has won a title.
No, come on.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm along the same school of thought that the showboating against someone with the record that James is pointing out, the gap in quality, it's not really showboating.
Of course
it's not showboating if I go and play football with Arsenal and Bukayo Saka and that are nutmegging me and screaming ole. That's not the same as doing it. But then
why do you have to make all your comparisons to football?
Come on, man.
Okay, cool.
This is a boxing show, man. Do you even watch boxing?
Apologies.
I'll give you an example.
Always coming at me for my MMA
see
stuff.
Fighters nowadays who showboat. I mean, Jaron Ennis showboats. When he fights, Jaron Ennis showboats, and 9 times out of 10 he's knocking guys out. So
he didn't in his last fight.
He didn't, but he wasn't showboating in that fight. So that's my point. He did not knock the dude out, and he didn't showboat. So my point is, you have to be having a great deal of control and almost carrying your opponent through the rounds to be showboating.
Maybe it's the right way to say it, like earn the right to showboat. So you've done something. You've done something really, really, really impressive, and then you go and showboat.
Like when Floyd was fighting Canelo.
Right.
He didn't knock him out, but he was fighting another elite fighter at a bigger weight class.
Even at a lower level, who I'm not really a fan of, but when Billy Joe Saunders was making Lemieux miss,
yeah.
he was looking around like, where's that punch?
Billy Joe
that
Saunders
was
is a hell of
at
a guy,
much
man.
higher level.
Up to a lower level than Floyd. Higher level than this.
No, but it's a much higher level than this. He
Yeah,
was fighting for a world title.
we were talking about.
No, I
Floyd
just said
Mayweather.
Floyd and Canelo.
I said
Oh,
lower
I see,
level
okay.
than.
Yeah, lower level than Canelo, obviously. Everyone is. But the thing is, though, this could, in turn, look, everyone needs their own unique style. They need their own unique brand. This could build his name, build his reputation, give him a big following, which in turn is going to help him secure bigger fights, secure bigger paydays, secure bigger
his
money.
name out there,
And
isn't it?
potentially, because unfortunately, boxing is not a meritocracy, as many people like to think it is. It is not all based on competition. It is not all based on who deserves to get the title sometimes. There's a lot of politics involved, and sometimes people can jump the queue to get opportunities because of their name and because of their brand.
So
maybe he might be boosting that.
And then like Ryan Garcia,
I was going to say, you don't have a problem with that though, do you?
I don't have a problem with that, no, because I think it's an entertainment business. And I think if you can cotton on to that and you can build your brand, I think it's a very smart thing to do.
So you like entertaining losers, basically?
It's not a loser.
Okay.
No.
But I feel there's entertainment, but I also feel like you got to walk that line, because you can be entertaining but substanceless. Like almost to the point where it's a gimmick, and you don't want that. I'm not saying Ben Whitaker
that's true.
But you don't want to be that gimmick, you know.
I think he's running the risk of alienating a lot of potential fans, because, as my mate was just saying, like, you know, you've taken 8 rounds to get that guy out of there. You're showboating in every single round. Personally, I think he's overdoing the showboating.
But to be unique and to be loved, you're also going to be a hell of a lot hated by a hell of a lot of people. So if he has to alienate fans in order to get the fans that he wants to do, as a great quote once said, you know, I'd rather be loved for the things I am, or rather, I'd rather be hated for the things I am than loved for the things I'm not. So why is he going to have to change his style to not alienate fans?
I get you, but
bad way to go.
Talking from my perspective, I'm always gonna love the hard hat fighters.
No, that's fair. Everyone has their own things they enjoy.
The guys who's gonna put on their hard hat and get to work and get the job done.
Ramiz Hussein says, Laurie, we're not hating on him. We just feel he should be judged on a higher level than other British fighters. Listen, Ramiz, I get it. Thanks for your comment, by the way. I hear what you're saying, but I think you're being a little unkind, because it was his 4th professional fight. So, you know,
he's welcome, but that showboating welcomes that criticism. He can't go out there and showboat as though when you showboat, you're kind of saying
it's too easy.
Look how good I am. Exactly.
Look how great.
So
I
you
am.
can't have it both ways.
Good,
I understand. I agree with you, but I'm saying you can't have it both ways. Of look how good I am, but then the performance isn't necessarily. It's a 7 out of 10 performance. It's good, but not necessarily amazing. It's not going to hit the headlines tomorrow.
No, it's not.
And then go, well, it's my 4th professional fight. You know, you can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways.
Well, what I would say is this, and I'm not, not saying what he's doing, I totally agree with, because I do actually think he overdoes it. But I do agree with my man James here. He's saying that he's projecting himself. He's putting himself out there. The beautiful Clarissa Shields is in the ring, looking as fine as always. But anyway, we won't go down that route.
Pray.
Well, you were going at Nick for being easily distracted earlier.
No, but I've got to say, she does look good.
Looking good.
Resplendent in all white.
Looking good.
And looking
good.
very, very nice.
Yes, good.
I was
So
at
is
least
Johnny
talking
Nelson.
about boxing.
Johnny Nelson is looking
Johnny
sharp,
Nelson.
man.
So Savannah.
Bit of a creased shirt, but
so
aside
is
from
Andy
that, it
Warhol.
You know,
looks
like that. Yeah, the shirt's creased, bro. My man lost his iron, fam.
Johnny Nelson's not it, bro. I saw him talking to Ben Whitaker before the fight wearing flip flops. I was like, nah, this guy's.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nah, bro. Why?
He's got trainers on.
Why are his toes on my screen? It don't make no sense. Johnny's given up.
Knowing Johnny Nelson's track record, he would probably say Ben Whitaker's gonna beat Beterbiev. This is the same guy that say James Tennyson will knock out Tank. So, in my opinion, I don't know. Ben Whitaker's gonna knock out Beterbiev next fight.
So, in case you're wondering, while we're talking about Clarissa Shields and Johnny Nelson, we're just waiting for the main event to start.
he's just jacked up. Oh, I thought he was jacked up, Mike.
Auntie Dezurn.
That's a bit
She'd
unfair.
thump you up, blood.
I'm sorry.
But we're waiting for the main event. Can't wait for this one.
Definitely.
Franchon Crews-Dezurn defending her super middleweight titles, all 4 belts, by the way, against Savannah Marshall, former middleweight champion. Right, let's start with the keys to victory. What do you think Franchon Crews-Dezurn has to do to win this fight?
I think she has to be as active as possible and know the ranges to fight at. We know Savannah Marshall's got really good punch power. I think Savannah Marshall is a person who's always looking for a really good single, so it does open the opportunity to outwork Savannah Marshall in the rounds. And if you know what range to not fight at, you can always keep yourself protected. So there's a saying where you say you're either all the way in or all the way out. So try and get all the way in. And then when you're on the outside, just limit her opportunities to cut you off and get you against the ropes. Just be as active as possible and try and make the fight, messy, where Savannah Marshall, who wants to land a really good knockout punch, she can't because you're throwing 3s and 4s and she's in a bit of a scrap and she can get outworked. That's
And
my...
the keys to victory for Savannah Marshall? No predictions yet.
Just keep your space, keep your distance, fight behind the jab, and also try and walk. Obviously, when you're dictating center ring, you're trying to get your opponent to walk onto shots, and try and set up your backhand as much as you can, and don't load up early. Try and slow her down with just good punch selection. That's
Nick?
what my opinion would be.
Similar, building off what Shane said, I think
Franchon first.
Yeah,
What's
I think
her
Franchon
position?
Crews needs to. It sounds a bit counterintuitive. When you're going against someone that can punch harder than you, actually want to step inwards. You want to step towards them. It feels scary and it feels like the opposite thing to do. But you just don't want her to get that range.
Leverage.
And, you don't want her to get that leverage. So you want to cut that leverage off and then get in low. Trying to use your legs as much as possible. Get low and explode upwards and try and make it really messy. Try to be really aggressive and try and show her no respect as much as possible.
And the keys to victory for Savannah Marshall?
Going to be sideways movement. Crews is going to come in, try and bully her, maybe even try and push her back against the ropes and try to tee off maybe on the body. She's got to pick her moments, try ride the storm out and pick her moments to counter punch right when Franchon Crews has kind of used up a lot of the gas tank. And then sideways movement. She's going to be the more athletic fighter. She's in better shape. Move laterally, move sideways.
You don't know that.
I think she looked in better shape.
Yeah,
That sounds like something James would say.
Yeah.
She looks in better shape. So
She looks
I think
lean.
yeah, I
For
think she
me,
looks
you
leaner,
were
but I
calling
think-
her an auntie a minute ago.
I think move inside as soon as you feel the ropes against your back, move sideways. Do you know what I mean? Step to your left and start teeing off again.
James, what's your keys to victory for both fighters, starting with Franchon Crews-Dezurn?
Bribing the referee. To be honest, I think that's her key to victory. I think
She's not
she's
gonna
going to
get
have
any
to get
favours
she's
here.
going to have to get a Rolly Romero kind of stoppage. That's the only way I see
She's
her.
away from home, so she's unlikely.
Yeah, so I mean,
to
she's
get
going to
any
have to do a Rolly Romero and hit her with one punch and somehow get the ref to stop him, because Savannah Marshall, for me, if she's able to use all her physical attributes the way that I thought she didn't do as effectively against Clarissa Shields, which obviously Clarissa Shields is a lot higher level than I said, i.e. the lateral movement, i.e. the range, i.e. the power, keep her at bay, use her jab, good movement around, not allow herself to get cornered, then I think this should be a pretty routine fight for her. I think Crews-Dezurn, like you said, if she's able to make it ugly, she's able to rough her up, if she's able to use her power, then I think it could make this quite a tricky fight for Savannah Marshall. But Savannah Marshall, for me, has all the attributes and should
Okay,
be
I'll stop you
getting the
there. I don't
victory.
want no predictions yet. We're just seeing Savannah Marshall is the challenger, and she's now about to make her way to the ring. Just building on what you guys are saying, I think you all made some very good points there. Obviously, Franchon Crews-Dezurn, starting with her, she's a champion. And as you guys said, she's the shorter fighter. She needs to be able to get inside, as Nick was saying, close that distance. And basically, it's not much science to it. She's got to make it a rough, tough fight. She's a big, strong girl, durable, takes a shot well, and got to get in there, land her punches, make it a rough, tough, attritional fight. Because I don't think she's going to beat Savannah Marshall if Savannah Marshall keeps it long. So what Savannah Marshall needs to do, keep it long, be defensively responsible, and then try and walk Franchon into that big right hand that she's got. I mean, we spoke earlier on the DR Boxing Weekly show. We said Savannah Marshall is probably the hardest single puncher in women's boxing currently. She's got a KO
Pound for pound.
percentage.
You think pound for pound?
Yeah. No one compares to her record in terms of knockouts.
Sweet
She's got
Caroline
No.
for the future.
No. If you look at it,
we can't guess in the future.
Nah, well, she's got 4 knockouts in 6 fights.
I have a person
She's
I
a
would have said,
brutal-
but I might have been different. But I think, like, pound for pound, I know she's not at the same weight class, but everyone I think Alicia Baumgartner has been with, she's dropped.
well, put it this way: Savannah Marshall's KO percentage, I think, is something like 77%, which is the highest.
Which is
in
good
women's
for-
boxing.
77.92 if I'm remembering
Right,
correctly.
So,
Yeah, no, it's very, very.
but anyway,
very good power.
and we've seen her lay girls out, and I mean,
Clean.
leave them on the floor cold.
Flatline.
And she's done it more than any other women's fighter that I can name. So she's definitely good. But then, Franchon can take a punch. Big, strong girl, like I said, only lost once to Clarissa Shields. In fact, both of them have only lost to Clarissa Shields. Savannah Marshall did beat Franchon Crews-Dezurn in the amateurs. It was quite a close fight,
she
apparently,
beats-
14-12.
She beat Savannah Clarissa Shields in the amateurs. We saw how that fight went as well.
True,
So.
but I don't think that Franchon, as much as I like her as a person and I like her character, she's not blessed with the same skill set.
No,
as
definitely not.
Clarissa
But she's
Shields.
very confident, though.
Yeah, I like her
I mean,
confidence.
She's got good swagger.
People underestimate how important confidence is in boxing, but
True.
she's very confident.
Takes you back to
How
the
hard does
Ben
she
Whitaker
hit?
thing.
They call her the heavy-hitting diva. That's her official nickname. But I don't think she's a one-punch hitter.
Okay.
But then that doesn't mean to say she don't hit hard. She probably does hit hard.
And I think she hits harder than Clarissa, though.
Could well be.
Yeah.
Because Clarissa caught Savannah Marshall some good shots. I don't think she hurt her, but she definitely caught Savannah Marshall some good shots. And let's be honest, it's not like Savannah Marshall has great defense. So
One
Dezurn
punch
can
could change
yeah,
the
exactly.
momentum.
Like it's all good with Savannah Marshall. And I do think she's gonna win, but it's all good with Savannah Marshall having the power. But what happens when them shots get fired back?
Yeah.
You know, you fire them shots,
Or when
but
she
what
misses.
happens? Yeah, like what happens when them shots get fired back? That's what Tank said to Ryan Garcia.
We know how that
And
went.
now we're seeing Franchon Crews-Dezurn, the champion, making her way to the ring, resplendent with that red sunglasses.
It's a
isn't it? She
pretty
likes the
cool
sunglasses.
outfit. I've gotta
Is
say.
she from Trinidad? Because that looks like a Trinidad.
No, she's not. She's not from Trinidad.
Black and red, like Trinidad.
Yeah, like a.
Might be the state she's from or something. You know, these Americans.
All right, let's see the pyrotechnics for this one. Oh, look at that.
She's loving it.
That's the real deal
She's
right
a
there,
real
mate.
show person, though, isn't she?
Definitely.
She's a real character.
She can
She's
win a
also
lot of
not
fans
going
as
to
well.
mind. She's also not going to mind being the heel. She's not going to mind any boos.
The
She's
heel,
not going to mind,
yeah.
you know. She'll
Now
love
you're
it.
I think she's
talking my
overall she's been
game.
given quite a good reception. in this. I
Tribal
think
chief.
people have taken to her. They like her. When Clarissa was here, I noticed that a lot of people kind of got put off by some of Clarissa's trash talking. With Franchon, I think people are more accepting of her. Obviously, they're gonna the crowd, which I have to say as well, looks packed.
We
They're going
know
to be a little bit more tolerant of Franchon because as a person, she's a bit more likable in some respects.
and she poses less of a threat as well, though.
Yeah.
Walking right over to Savannah Marshall.
But I am looking forward to this fight, man.
I actually am as well. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Savannah Marshall is one. Like, I wanted Clarissa Shields to win, but I really like Savannah Marshall's
yeah, she's a
fighting
very
style.
likeable person
She
as
reminds
well.
me,
Yeah.
obviously not of Wilder because she doesn't fight like Wilder. But when you got that
Character-wise.
knockout punch power, it always just makes every fight interesting. You know, that equalizer that people like.
Sugar
to
again.
See. Bro, this
Busy
guy's
night.
doing overtime.
Yeah, that must be why there was such a big gap between the fights. He's had to
Guy's
go
doing
back and prepare.
overtime.
He's had to go back and prepare his fighter again.
Yeah, he's had to go back and change his outfit. And
Yeah, exactly.
Overtime. Boy.
Looks like we're getting some national anthems here.
Daniel Chambers.
I
said
don't know why.
Clarissa
I'm
gets
not a fan of the
disrespected here in
national
the
anthems,
UK.
really. Personally.
Yeah, she does. I think sometimes, as much as I love Clarissa, and I'm going to say this, I'm a big fan of Clarissa Shields, both in and out the ring. But I think sometimes she
overcooks
says
it.
things that will get people on her case.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Sometimes if somebody's not as witty and hasn't got that banter and all that kind of stuff to pull off, but they want to be that person. You know, they want to drive the chat, but they're not maybe
That's
the
a-
best
but
talker.
but-
They're likely to overstep.
I also think she is, and I love her arrogance, but she is painfully arrogant. So someone who isn't used to that, to this level, they might not like that. Plus, with her fights, it's not like she's knocking people out. So it's a bit like
Franchon's going to sing the national anthem. She did say that she might do it.
She's
She is a
she's
singer.
singing.
Wow.
Right.
This
She's
is
a singer.
I
unheard
don't
of.
think I've ever seen this
No, I've
before.
never
This is
seen
something you see in
Definitely not.
Misfits.
I told you this woman's a character. She's a fashion designer, a singer. She was on American Idol one
Yeah,
time, you know,
yeah.
as a contestant. And she's got a very good voice too.
She might as well be a barber because I think she cut the side of her hair as
Clarissa
well.
Shields are in the crowd singing as well, singing along to it.
That's what I'm saying about this girl, man. She's
She does it all.
I could see her fighting back in this country again, win, lose or draw.
Yeah,
'Cause I
it's
think
fun.
that
It's
the
funny how
people-
people take to
could-
certain
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Could you sing the national anthem? I don't even know the words. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well,
Could
the
you-
UK, the British national
Yeah.
anthem. No.
We won't go there.
Unpatriotic.
We won't go there.
My dad would tell me off.
We're not going there. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Me never.
It's a first.
Better not be another wilder situation that I gassed out from singing the national anthem. The
You
costume was too
remember in
heavy.
Rocky when he came out singing "Coming to America," and obviously was too tired and got knocked out.
Ramiz Hussein's back in the chat. He said, "This is mad." What's it sounding like? Because we got the audio off in it. Like, what are we rating it? Or what are we rating the vocals?
She's
on
got a very good voice, you know.
Yeah, but just let the people then rate it in it. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm telling you, I've heard her sing.
Somebody's gonna say 10 out of 10.
Carissa's in the
6
mood
out of
as well.
10. T. Muller said 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's not too bad.
You're missing this, mate. Franchon Crews is singing the national anthem, James.
That shows you how relaxed she is.
Daniel Chambers said 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
8 out of 10.
I probably would go.
I'm
with
not
that.
really hearing. I'm not really hearing.
No, because like I said, I've heard her sing before.
Nah, but there's loads of like history of people horribly butchering the American
Tyson
national
Fury,
anthem.
he butchers.
Jamal said 2 out of 10. That sounds like hating.
Right, okay. The fights. We're going through the introductions.
Ramiz
Let's
said,
go with
does
the.
this count as showboating, Laurie?
No, it don't. No, it doesn't. Let's go with some. You think is that funny?
I thought it was very
That
funny.
was funny.
I thought it was very- The fact that you're upset is making it funnier.
I don't. Okay, if you're that way inclined. James, let's start with you. Prediction time.
I think look, I know I did kind of say she had to bribe the ref and stuff. I was being, it was a little bit of it was for dramatic effect. I do think she has
not
a
like
lot
you to
better.
do that.
She has a lot. she has more of a chance than I was laying on. Like you said, if she can make it rough, she can make it dirty. If she can isolate Savannah Marshall, corner her and get rid of her attributes that she has, then I think she has a good shot. But for me, I just feel like Savannah Marshall is slightly too technical for her. She poses a lot of power. And if she tries to walk her down and she doesn't pick her moments correctly, she's going to get hit with some big shots coming in. And I do feel like Savannah Marshall will stop her.
Stop her. Okay. What, late? Or
Late
early?
stoppage.
Okay. Shane.
I'm a bit torn because I genuinely
say that
see a method in how Dezurn wins this fight. It's just if I'm obviously going to lean towards Savannah Marshall by stoppage, but I do see a way in how Dezurn can win this fight because I do think she can outwork Savannah Marshall because Savannah Marshall likes to pick her punches. And sometimes when you like to pick your punches, you can almost overweight for the great shot and it doesn't come.
Yeah, the tactics have got to be spot on. But yeah, okay. Nick?
Yes, I still think Savannah Marshall late stoppage. I think it'll be really rough, really aggressive fight, and I think that she has the brain to figure it out when she gets into deep water. I think that she's got not the experience because she's only got 13 professional fights, but I think she's got the experience and the IQ to figure out what she needs to do in the moment, which some people don't have.
Huey Fury's there as well.
Yeah, Peter's the trainer, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
That's his dad. Peter Fury's his dad.
I'm just wondering what Huey Fury's dressed it like. What is my man wearing?
Right, okay.
Manchester blood.
Take the best till last, which is me.
I didn't do that.
Right, I'm going to go with Savannah Marshall. I just think that she's the better boxer. I think if she gets her tactics right, doesn't get drawn in too much, I think that she should win. I do think that it will be a good fight. I think Franchon's a tough girl. She looks determined. She's a co-promoter of this fight, so she's going to want to give it her best for more than one reason. But I do think that in the final analysis, Savannah Marshall, taller, rangier, better boxer. I've got to go with a boxer over the brawler. So I'm going for Savannah Marshall on points.
I wonder, do you guys remember the time when, and I'm sorry to bring this up, you guys remember when Dezurn's coach pulled off her wig?
I do remember that, yeah.
I didn't see it. Was it worse than who's the Italian guy?
I think it was, I think the guy that did it, was, what's the guy Sugar Hill's in her corner.
That's what we said. We said that.
It weren't Sugar Hill.
I
It
was
weren't Sugar
wondering who
Hill.
you were talking about when you said change
Yeah, he went back.
outfits,
He
right,
changed his t-shirt and he's back out.
That's what I'm
now.
saying.
Barry
It's like
Hunter.
overtime. Oh yeah.
He's not there tonight, I notice.
No one bite your legs on.
Chunky Shogun said, "Y'all are smoking crack for real."
Why?
I'm assuming
not on a Saturday,
I'm
mate.
assuming he thinks that
That's a good night's sleep.
Franchon. I'm assuming. Well, he said y'all, so I'm assuming he's American.
He's American.
I know this might sound slightly unpatriotic, but because I like Franchon, if she won, I wouldn't mind, to be honest.
Me neither.
of
Me
course.
neither.
Yeah.
Personally,
It's not about.
I
it's
like
not,
both
it's,
fighters.
It's not even about patriotism. I just go for the fighter that I like or that I think is going to win. I've never back a Brit over
these man ain't
somebody else
paying
just
me
because.
no money for me to be
Yeah,
wanting next man
sometimes
to win.
sometimes
but
you got to back
There's
your
no
boys.
fighter I like because they're Brit. In fact, the only fighter that might
Right,
be
here
like
we go.
Anthony Joshua,
not because he's British.
Barnet boy.
Straight away, Franchon is looking
Centre
to close
ring.
the distance.
Nice and
A little
aggressive.
head went in there
Nice and aggressive.
And you know what I like? She's looking to take the initiative in the
because
fight.
Savannah's quite a slow
Getting low
starter.
as well. Getting
Hands
low.
low.
Yeah.
But
And-
getting her head low so she can't get hit with that headshot.
What did you lot with that clinch? You also see, I think, like Dezurn's also probably stronger
Yeah.
than her.
We
I
should
thought
point
so.
out as well that this is 10 rounds, 2-minute rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Savannah Marshall's head movement better than it was against Clarissa Shields already
Yeah.
because her head was straight up in the air, like 12 o'clock all day.
Franchon.
Get your predictions in the chat as well, and do like the video. 230 of us here. Thanks for being here. Get your predictions in the chat.
It's a bit of a gangly style.
That's what it's
Savannah
gonna have-
Marshall.
that's-
yeah. She's always
she
had
looks a
that
bit like a
style.
tarantula. You know what I mean? The way she's like curving her back over and like looping the hooks round.
Tarantula?
Yeah, like you know how it has like the long arms that like
Oh, see.
curve over it and it's hunched over like that.
It's pretty even so far.
I think
No one's
Dezurn's probably
establishing.
got the, what's it called? The better
She's
of it.
been more
active. I said
with
she's
the jab.
making it messy, which is what Savannah Marshall doesn't want. She doesn't want this messy fight.
With Savannah Marshall putting her head down as well, you know, the ref can't even. It's not Franchon's fault when they're clashing. Do you know what I mean? It's arguably Savannah's fault.
What a
Whoa,
good
mate,
left
she's
hook.
piecing her up right now.
Oh, good shot there by Savannah. Overhand right.
I don't think it landed though.
Yeah. Or if it did, it certainly didn't phase her.
It might have landed on the bar
Like
lid
the
part.
clan.
Varlet.
I'll go on for this guy.
She's obsessed with her head. Her hair, or lack of it.
Whoa!
Oh,
what
good
a good
shot
shot
there.
from. They both shared. I
Yeah,
think they both
did,
traded
yeah,
left hooks
yeah.
there. Good shot.
Savannah looks a bit red around the face already
Literally.
as well.
Dezurn is real active. Good right, straight right hand.
Oh,
Nice, good right hand. Good
good
overhand
right.
right.
This is a good round.
Sav-
Another good right hand.
Savannah Marshall's going to be in problems. Savannah
I
Marshall.
have to
good
give
round.
that round to
Dezurn.
Franchon.
I'm going that round to Franchon, but she does look really tired.
Savannah Marshall's going to be in problems. You want to know why? Because if she thinks that she's just going to land one money shot and go home,
It's not
that's
gonna
not happening.
Yep.
She's going to have to pace herself in this fight.
Yeah.
She's going to have to wear her down because the messier it gets, the more it favors Dezurn. Because
Guy showing the
I
highlight of
told
the right
you,
hand.
bro, I told you, bro. What did I say? I don't even want to repeat myself.
Yeah, I think Franchon Crews won that round, but I don't feel like the judges are going to give it to her.
No, I think
you should
French
just
is on a
score
roll,
it
mate.
on how
That's
you
what I think.
score it.
But you
and
know,
then we can discuss
let's
that
be
later.
honest. The fact that Sky Sports only showed the shots that Savannah
Exactly,
Marshall
yeah.
landed should tell
I
you
hear what you're
everything.
saying, but let's score it the way you would
Yeah,
score
I'm
we're
scoring it how I
unbiased
was.
here, all right?
I'm scoring it how I'm
all I
scoring
say is whose game plan was more effective. You know, that's usually the way I like to look at fights. Franchon, for me, fought
To
the
me,
fight that
Franchon
she
won
wanted
that
to
round.
fight.
Well,
She
In my
bullied her a
opinion,
little
as
bit in
well.
there.
Hit the
And
like
it looks
button,
like
everyone.
of early signs, but Savannah Marshall, she landed
Nice
a couple
fighting
of
in the
shots,
clinch.
but they didn't
Yep.
look like
Don't
they're
see fighters
affecting
fighting in the
her.
clinch that much. They always just get ready for the referee to come and save them. Nah,
That's
we're still
the-
fighting.
Exactly. The messier it is, the more it favors Dezurn. But yeah, everyone hit the like button.
But
Hit
she's
the
actually
like.
shown
No, don't
better
hit it.
jab than
Smash
Savannah.
it.
Savannah's going for. She's going for it. Savannah's going for that right hand.
A couple of the braids have already fallen out of her hair as well. So
What got you in the hair? man?
To me, I think Savannah's fighting.
Yeah,
the
come
wrong
on,
fight.
man.
She
Let's
should be
focus on the
she's
boxing.
definitely fighting the wrong fight.
That's a great left hand, a right hand though.
Yeah,
from Savannah
this-
Marshall.
I don't-
But it was grazing, innit?
It was grazing, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If she's just looking for that,
She's trying to
one
walk
money
her
shot,
down and
it's
slug
not
her
gonna
out.
happen.
One at a time, please.
Sorry to cut you off, James. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying she's walking her down and trying to slug it out. This is not the fight that I would be fighting if I was Savannah Marshall. She's playing into Crews-Dezurn's
I think
hand,
so as
and
well. She should
you
be
say
using
she's
her jab.
yeah, she's looking for that money shot, as you're saying, but none of her shots are affecting Crews-Dezurn. She's walking her down every time.
That's what I'm saying. When you're fighting someone like this, you can't rely on that one single shot to iron them out because they're gonna be able to take it, but they're giving back threes and
That
fours.
kind of, to me, she's giving up her height by doing that.
So I said,
Respecting her power, maybe. Not just really not wanting to get hit by that.
The reason why she's probably ducking her head is because she don't want to get hit with that backhand right. That's why.
Yeah.
No, you dip over. You're kind of out of range for that right hand.
This one's a little bit harder to score. I still think I'm edging towards Dezurn, but it's a little bit harder to score than the first one.
Dezurn isn't really like
No one's really made
applying pressure with her footwork in this round, like last round. That was a good shot.
Left hand.
oh, good hook.
But
But,
she's
no
you
damage.
see in the clinches, she's just so much better than Savannah.
Yeah.
Forcing her head
stronger.
down,
She's much
physically stronger.
Good body shot by Crews-Dezurn there. Oh, good
right hand, and then
but
fires
it gets
right back.
returned.
Going back, yep.
There you go. That one's hurt her.
Nice and aggressive.
That's the first shot I think that's actually
That's a
hurt
difficult round to
Crews-Dezurn.
score,
Very,
that.
very.
I think I might have to go with Franchon again.
I'm doing that.
I don't know. I'm thinking I might do a Tony Belly right now.
What's the Tony Bear?
He scores draw rounds all the time. Him and
Oh,
Carl
does he?
Frutch.
Well, given that she's the champion, I don't.
Yeah, no. You know what? That's a good point. That's a good
But
point.
it was a close round. It was a close round. Talking to Tony Bellew, you know that he's considering coming back to the ring, right?
Yeah, taking on the Bridgerweight champion that knocked out
I don't
Babbage.
like that, to be honest.
No, he should stay
He
retired.
should stay retired, man. I mean, he's got nothing to prove. He was a very good world champion.
Yep.
He lost the belts to Usyk. There's no disgrace in that. Stay retired, bro. It's that typical thing, innit?
Gave
Oh,
Usyk a
that was
great
right
fight
hand.
as well.
Sorry?
Gave Usyk a great fight as well.
Yeah, for
He
while
was,
it
he was
lasted.
he was schooling him early on. Well, not
No, I don't know
schooling him.
about
Schooling him's
schooling.
harsh. No, I don't know why I said schooling him, but he was
Good jab
kicking in
there
there
by
well. He was setting him
Franchon,
up with some
double
good
jab.
traps.
And again,
Callum Mason also in the chat. Thanks for the comment. Said James tarantulas have legs, not arms.
Yeah, sorry. No, she had the way she's. I meant the way she's
good shot by
using her
Savannah.
arms.
Oh, that's
Three
great.
body
Did I
shots
say
in a row.
tarantulas on-
Three body shots in a
my
row.
what I've noticed about
8 leg sweeps,
Crews-Dezurn is every time she gets tagged by the right hand, she comes straight back.
Yeah,
But
very aggressive.
Savannah Marshall's allowing her to do that because you're looking for this one single
Yeah,
punch.
and- but
Wild.
even when she's not throwing the power punch, she's only throwing once.
One.
She's not
Freeze
throwing
beat
any
one every
combination.
time. Freeze beat one every time. You can't rely on the
Franchon's
one.
showing a bit more boxing skill than I anticipated. Actually.
Yeah.
And she's coming in with that head heavy as well. Like she's really trying to win the clinches.
Big, strong girl, man. Trust me.
Yeah, trust me.
Oh, a
Good
good
right hand. It's a good
overhand.
right
And
Right
look what she's
there.
doing, forcing her head down. How many times have we seen in the clinch her force Savannah hit Marshall's head down?
Ooh, big shot by Savannah though. There you go.
This is
Now
really
she's got her
warming up.
reeling. This is where she needs to start
This
making her
fight is
advantages
actually
count.
really entertaining.
I told
because-
you it should be a good fight, bro.
Whoa! Whoa!
Dashed her
Thrown to the
across
floor.
Whoa! This is like a barbecue scrap. He just picked her up and thrown her into the wall.
The ref looking like he's not quite sure how to control it. Really.
This could
Savannah,
come down to who's got the better gas tank.
Well, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Who do we think is the
I
fitter?
mean, Savannah Marshall clearly fitter. Look,
Has
the
to.
way
I think-
the
I
way
think-
Crews-Dezurn is there. Look, if
I think
this goes
Savannah
5
Marshall
more
could
rounds,
be fitter, but I think she's also probably more not used to this type
yeah,
of fight.
like she's not as battle hardened.
Yeah.
true, but Crews-Dezurn for me, it looks like she's breathing out of her mouth
but you're
already.
just going on aesthetics.
No,
You
I'm
can't
not. I'm
judge a
saying, look,
person's-
she's breathing out of her mouth.
she looks tired.
No, but what you
that
got,
doesn't mean
but
anything.
what you got to
Some
remember,
Of course it does.
Doesn't.
What you got to remember is though,
Gas tanks are not on aesthetics.
What do you mean aesthetics? I said she's breathing out of her mouth
both
because
are.
she's trying to get more oxygen
what I
in.
would say is though,
They both
what you
are.
got to remember is, I think right.
Oh,
whoa,
straight
what
right.
a shot from
Great
Dezurn!
right hand from Dezurn.
What a shot from Dezurn! What you got to remember, James, is I think right now Dezurn is probably heavier than Savannah Marshall. And that weight is going to have more of an effect on Savannah than the other way around.
To me,
And
that
she's
was a
winning
level
every
round.
It's going to have an effect on her as well because she's stumbling around there, man.
Nah.
Crews, man.
I thought that was a level round, man.
I genuinely believe that I'm agreeing with Laurie. The weight, the gas tank's going to affect both of them. Like it's both, like that weight is going to have more of an effect on Savannah.
And you've
than
also
the
got
other
to
way
remember
around.
as well, this thing, you're looking at Savannah because she's taller, you think she's got better gas. That's you can't say that. And you also got to remember as well that with Crews-Dezurn, this is how she fights.
That's what Nick was
So
saying.
this is how, you know what I mean? That's how she fights all her fights like this. Attritional. So you're looking at, and I get what you're doing. You're looking at one person, she's taller, leaner, oh, she must be fitter. No, it doesn't work like that. Doesn't.
in
Don't
fact,
work like that, James.
It doesn't.
it's the same thing.
I
at
know
Joshua.
that.
I was about to say that.
Look at
I was
Joshua.
literally just about to say that.
His gas tank is
Suspect.
Whoa,
Very
God,
suspect.
Anthony Joshua has a better gas tank than BP itself. All right.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
Savannah,
This is better
getting back
by
to her
Savannah.
jab. Yeah,
This is
that's
better.
much better. She's changed.
I think Peter Fury must have said, "Look, use your jab."
But this is what I said. Like, I think Savannah's got the ability to make the adjustments in the fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I thought maybe actually she'll figure out a way. If it's ugly, she'll be able to think her way through.
This
the
is
fight.
I expected Dezurn to come with this game plan. I just expected Marshall to make the adjustments earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Great
right hand.
Right hand.
And also that right hand landed because she threw a ball
Oh,
too.
she's doing it again, man. Mate, she's like a flipping MMA
No, but
fighter.
this is what
She's
we
going
said.
around
She's gotta
getting the
make
back,
it-
throwing her.
She's got to
This
make
is what
it
we said.
dirty.
She's got to make it rough and tough.
Has she got like a judo background or something? What's going on here?
She's just strong.
Just
No, but the
physically
way
strong.
she found her back there and like
So
slipped
to be
around,
fair,
got her
Savannah
back and
swung
threw her.
and missed, and it was her momentum that spun her around.
Yeah, and then she like grabbed onto her hips and tossed her.
Bringing it back to Laurie's point, when a fight goes like this and it's messy, when you're not used to fighting when you're used to fighting
super
clean,
exhausting.
it don't go in your favor.
Doesn't.
It does
You
not
have
go
to-
in your favor.
Oh, good shot by Savannah Marshall.
She's winning this round. She's
definitely-
definitely winning this
Definitely,
round.
Yeah. Oh,
Whoa, that was a
now Cruz
that
goes
was
for
a
the money
cricket ball
shot.
right there. Boy.
Trust me.
Boy.
Slugging it out. It's absolutely slugging it out.
I'm enjoying this.
It's a
fight.
Coley Billum Smith, but better. This is what we hoped a Coley Billum Smith would look like.
Hey, I think that was a great.
good
Whoa, beautiful shot.
wonder
Step
if-
back with that overhand right. And again, she's trying to talk.
her down.
I think Dezurn is not even a little bit. She's very tired.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. She looked gassed.
You're
to me.
going off aesthetic, Shane.
Yeah.
Now I'm just playing.
bloody hell, man.
Based on what I see, she looks a
That
bit
was
tired.
definitely a.
Well, I would agree with
Savannah
you on that
Marshall
one,
round.
Shane. I'd agree with you, but apparently I'm going off aesthetics.
Callum Mason says she definitely hit her hard with those tarantula.
All right, well,
I don't know why that's
you're
making me
right.
laugh so much.
Tarantulas have more legs than a bucket of chicken. You know,
Not my
I got
bucket
it wrong.
chicken.
I accidentally said arms. Although,
This guy, I don't
Technically,
know
you
where
could
this
define
guy
them as
gets
arms.
These lines from, like this guy's a B-Tech expressions.
whoa. A-tech, mate. A technical.
Yeah, I'll definitely give Savannah that last round. I still think though that she would do better to. She's giving up her height. I hate to see that when tall fighters.
Sebastian
Taller,
Fundora,
rangier,
Sebastian
and-
Fundora style.
Yeah, and they hold their head down low. What's the point of being 6 foot if you're gonna fight at 5
Tell
foot
me
6?
about it. I wish I was 6 foot, man. Give me some of that height. Bloody hell, I'm starving for it over here, man.
T. Muller says
Into round
Marshall
5.
just won her first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
I
my
agree.
opinion as well.
I
My scorecards, anyway.
I've got it 2 apiece right now.
Oh, crazy.
I'm surprised you don't have it 4-0 to Marshall. Because she
innit?
looks
No, she was getting
looks
pieced up
nicer,
the
innit?
first 2 rounds.
She looks nicer.
No,
though.
the first 2 rounds.
looks nicer.
I like Crews-Dezurn's movement more the first 2 rounds. I
But
gotta tell
she's
you, man.
leaner, she's taller. You know?
Nah, she was looking tarantula settings in those first 2 rounds. Crews-Dezurn was dipping her head, man, changing the levels. She was piecing her up.
What
Well,
a good
lift
shot.
up by Crews-Dezurn.
I find
Good
beauty
jab
in a
from
bit of a
Sa-
slugfest as
Marshall.
well.
Oh, here we go.
Savannah's really trying to
starting
introduce that right hand.
But as the fight's gone on in these first 2 rounds, I think you're seeing
Yeah,
Marshall
Marshall's
starting to
adjustments.
establish some
She's
composure
got
in
the
there.
quicker hands, and she's just keeping that distance. That was brilliant from Cruz. Stepping in, close that distance, getting inside the levers.
Do you know the problem with Dezurn though? Is for all the good things we're saying, a lot of her shots are messy.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
not. It is very difficult to score for a judge. You know.
Yeah.
This is a
Also,
big,
a lot of her best work is not punches.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's throwing her around. That hip toss in the 3rd round is the best thing I've seen all fight. Cheers again. Cheers.
Neymar. What's
Right.
Neymar
He's
doing
getting
here?
bobbled over here. That's what I mean. Once your gas tank starts to go
Look at the ref.
and you try and do this diving in thing, it doesn't work as effectively.
Gooner.
Oh,
Whoa,
good right hand.
Good right hand from Savannah Marshall.
She's
got some
she's
spike in that
smiling
right
now.
hand.
She's paced this fight well, to be honest.
Oh,
another
good
good
right
right
hand
Big
again.
hook.
She's walking her onto punches.
She is.
She's probably gonna
You know
get
what
the
it
stoppage.
is? You know what she's doing now that she wasn't doing before? She's getting that bit of separation.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All the way in or all the way out. Dezurn is not all the way in.
And that
anymore.
happens when Crews-Dezurn starts to tire because she can't put as much pressure anymore, and it will allow space for Marshall to step back.
It's
and
mainly
allow
with her
shot.
legs as well. Savannah Marshall wasn't taking that half a step back.
Definitely Savannah Marshall's around that.
Gooner Lee in the chat said Laurie just wants to see Tyson Fury fight. To be honest,
Of course he does.
If we ever see him fight again, I mean,
He's fighting.
Talking about that.
He's fighting
Frank
Ngannou.
Warren, yeah, it looks like he's going to be fighting Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, that's a great fight. I can't wait for that fight.
Terrible fight.
Mate, you're a disgrace.
If they do it with like smaller gloves, if they do it with like proper
you're a
10-ounce
disgrace.
gloves,
You're a
boxing
disgrace.
gloves, then Fury will smack him up. Nah, man, Ngannou, mate, he's a great salesman. I like his character. It's an exciting fight, although I think they've missed the mark with it. I think if they did this like 12 months ago when Ngannou was at his peak and Fury was closer to his peak, then it would have been a lot bigger.
Isn't
fight.
Fury
Now-
at his peak now?
I think he's
Yeah,
past
you
his
know,
peak.
but you know the
I'm
thing is,
asking.
Fury might have
Fury
the
and
shortest
Ngannou's
peak of
are
any
right.
world title.
I'd rather see
Fury's past
AJ
his
and
peak as
Ngannou.
far as long.
AJ and Ngannou's a more exciting fight for me personally. AJ and
Shout
Ngannou.
out Don Robbie in the chat said Dezurn is knackered.
Yeah, of course.
Is that
Caroline Dubois
Caroline
looking like
Dubois
a sweet one today. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, sweet Caroline, mate.
You man are moving
On,
mad today.
commentary.
Blood. I don't know what's in the air.
Even like a sweet one. I can't even cap.
Okay, right, how they got it? They got Marshall winning quite comfortably.
Winning every round.
This is a Tony Bellew
do me a
score.
favour.
Tony
Even
Bellew special.
the first round they've got 10-10. You're not serious. You are not.
I've definitely
serious.
got Savannah winning the last two
Anybody
rounds.
who's giving Savannah the first round is fraudulent.
But this is what
Sigmund
happens.
Freudian.
This is what happens when you don't land clean enough punches and you rely just on output and work rate. Some judges don't like that. Some judges actually like the clean work.
Yeah.
And the cleaner work from round one has always been from Savannah Marshall. It's just few and far between in the early rounds. Now she's starting to get a bit more consistent.
That's why Coley won so many fights. They liked his clean
Oh,
work
what
in
a
the
left
ring.
hook.
What a hook.
What a left hook.
That was Franchon's best punch in the
Beautiful.
fight so far.
That was
The
like
way
a
she
Joe
exploded
Fraser
up.
left hook right there. That was amazing.
Oh, and she caught her again there.
It's got a really
I
good
don't know, man. The only one smoking in this room is you if you think that was a Joe Frazier hook, mate.
I'm joking.
Oh, and
obviously.
again. This is a good round from Franchon, you know.
He's a good
They're
round,
really
very good
showing
round.
out, man. Both of these.
Oh, look at this, mate. What is that? To be fair, that's exactly
I
what you
wonder
were
what-
saying Garcia needed to do to Tank when he comes in. Just stuff his head down.
Let me ask you a question, Laurie. In fights like this, if you're fighting, do you know how the scorecard? Like, do you have a feel of where the fight's going in terms of scoring?
You do, but you kind of rely on your corner when it's tight to try and be honest with you and saying, look, you need this round. Or if I was in Franchon Crews' corner, I'd be saying to her, look, you need rounds. You're falling behind. She's had a better round in this round. I think she did enough to win that round, actually.
You Cruz.
Yeah.
A tough one.
Disagree. I'll give that one to Marshall.
That one left hook was eye-catching.
That's a
but
tough one.
I don't think that the rest of the round she
Yeah,
was very
across the round. I give it to Marshall.
The funniest thing is the reason why I'm going to give it to Dezurn is because that round went more in Dezurn's favor than Marshall. I don't think Marshall wanted a round like that. She didn't want a round where she's back at Messi and hugging, holding. She wasn't able to actually get her shots off. So I just think that there were two big shots landed in that round, and I think Franchon landed both of them. But I mean, looking at the viewers' scorecard there, there was a left hook there and another shot there. You're gonna see it again. Yeah, Bam.
look, that was a great shot.
You know, I gave that round to Dezurn. I
I'll
can't
give it
lie.
to Marshall. More consistently good work from Savannah Marshall. Even though it's not the round that she would have wanted to fight. Bang, look at that.
No, it didn't land.
Body shot right there back.
Yeah, that was definitely Franchon's round for me.
Boy.
I've actually got Franchon a round up.
I've got a draw at the moment.
I have Savannah 4-2.
Well, that was a headbutt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The referee should be a little
Oh, yeah,
bit
no,
more.
he's telling her.
Oh, good
her
shot.
head
by-
buckled there. Savannah Marshall's buckled Dezurn's leg.
Yeah, she did.
She really hurt her with that backhand
She's
right.
so open though, Dezurn, isn't she?
Obviously, yeah, very much so.
Like a pure gym, mate. Open for business 24/7.
Oh,
Good right hand again.
What a shot!
there's some big punches going in there, you know. These
Damn
girls
right.
You know
are-
who she tries to fight like, and I know
Oh,
what
right
a
hand
good
again.
shot. She fights a bit like
She's
in
alright.
the messy style. Not even just, you know, like Sean Porter, just
Yeah,
messying
yeah.
things up. You know,
Yeah,
hugging, holding,
yeah,
just
yeah.
nasty.
It's a cross between Sean Porter. And, oh, good right hand by Dezurn. Oh,
They are
look at
tearing
these
it
girls
up
letting
in
it
there.
out.
Now this is
now.
a fight.
This is a great fight, man.
This is what
It's a
we
bit
came
messy,
to see.
but it's still very entertaining. Oh,
Great right hand
oh,
again.
Good right hand.
Dezurn is
Her back foot's come off completely off the floor, but it landed.
I think clearly the corner has said to her, listen, man, you're losing. You need to
up the ante a bit.
And she's trying to do that.
Credit.
Is she being successful?
Because she got caught with some good shots and she's still firing.
This is another hard round to score, you know.
Nah, I'd give this to Savannah Marshall, to be honest, because she almost dropped her.
Yeah, she did. But since then, Crews has come back well.
What
movement.
a good body shot.
Yeah, really difficult round to score.
Mate, I have to say, this has been a great fight. This has been thoroughly
I think at
entertaining.
times both of them have been able to implement their game plan.
Oh, that was
what a
lovely
left
work
hook.
by
Left hand from
Savannah.
Dezurn.
The left hook to the body, left hook
She's
to the
landed
head.
more left hooks than
Dips.
right hands, which you would have thought she would have landed more
That's
right
a very
hands.
difficult round
So
to score
difficult.
that one.
So difficult.
I might have to go for an even round again. I shouldn't really be
I'm
doing
going
that.
Clarissa. I'm going Savannah Marshall there.
Yeah, you've been on your lorry vibes, mate. Too distracted by the crowd.
I'm going Savannah Marshall.
Are you going Savannah because you thought she won it or because you're not sure?
No, I'm going Savannah Marshall because I thought she won the round. Sorry.
Yeah, what did she do to win the round?
I think her work was cleaner. I do think she got caught with some good shots, but overall, when you look at a round like that, you have to sometimes isolate the moments away from the messiness. And I think she had better moments, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair enough.
How do you have it? You still have Crews-Dezurn on top?
No, I've kind of got it even now, you know.
I've
Oh,
got
man.
enough. Carissa
She's
Shields.
getting ready. She's getting
how
ready
was the
to scrap
scorecard?
them all.
I've after that round, I gave that to Marshall, so I got Marshall up by 1-4-3.
I got it.
My scorecard.
I got
How again?
four.
She's friends with Crews-Dezurn, is she?
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Close friends. So there's a bit of extra spite in this for Savannah.
Oh, good body shot by Dezurn there, right up close and personal.
I've got it 4-3 to Marshall. You know.
Really good refereeing as well, I have to say, for the style of fight. So it's such a difficult fight to referee. It's letting them fight it out until
I've
it
never
gets
seen
really
a women's
dangerous.
fight that's been like rough and tough like this, you know.
Nah, that's a
People
good
getting
point.
thrown on the floor and all that type of stuff. Look, it's real.
Well, to be fair, 2 boxer headline events. You got this, and you got a Coley Billum Smith. So we've had a double header.
Literally.
Double header of it.
That's funny.
And to be honest, I have to say they have both been thoroughly entertaining fights.
Yeah, to my surprise as well. So credit to
Someone
Boxer.
said sad that Marshall has bottled another big fight. I don't think that's fair.
What?
think
It's not,
she's
the fight's not even over yet. and She's
up on my
winning the fight.
scorecard and most other people's scorecards as well.
Yeah.
She's lost it. She's lost a bit of momentum, though. I would say that.
Yeah. That's going to happen after a loss.
And I mean the momentum in this round, in this fight.
Got you.
Yeah, but you know, it's
Like I think this.
So did Crews-Dezurn, though. I got our first 3 rounds, and then the second 4 rounds, I've got it Savannah Marshall. So
Yeah, no, I 100%
Yeah.
hear what you're saying.
it's completely up in the air and winnable for both fighters. At this point.
Definitely.
even the great Lomachenko takes rounds off sometimes. So
And to his own peril because he lost.
he shouldn't have lost though.
I
But
don't know about that.
you even said yourself you had it a draw. So
Yeah, but you don't take
given
rounds
this-
off.
Savannah
Louise.
Marshall just
Yeah, she looks a bit sharper.
Yeah,
much
I think,
sharper.
I
And
think
obviously, as
Marshall's
coming
won
into
like
it.
a steak knife.
coming into the home straight now, last couple rounds, and again,
Oh,
we're talking
but-
about
I
attrition.
don't know what uppercut that was, though. She almost punched herself in the face.
That was a Tyson Fury.
Literally.
A Tyson Fury uppercut in the face, in his own face. Yeah, Savannah, she can get that degree of separation. She looks better.
Cern can still, like, if she wins the next 2 rounds, and some people's
I'll give
scorecards
that
might
round
say
to
she's
Savannah
winning.
Marshall.
Me as well.
We've got
see, I feel harsh
Nobby
giving it, but
Plies in the chat. It's I think James on his burner account said Katie's the best pound for pound fighter, just
Stop
like Tyson. Facts.
no, I have Clarissa Shields as
If you have to, I mean, it's not even a
anyone
question.
who says that, right?
Although I
Like,
think Caroline
seriously.
Dubois gives her a run for her money in the future. So,
Who?
you know.
Clarissa
Caroline Dubois.
Shields.
Yeah, yeah. In the future.
Can I ask you a question? Can I answer that person who says
Can
that? Name me one fight Clarissa Shields that had was controversial. Every fight she has is just
No, I
comfortable.
think it's a
It's
debate. I think it is a good
It's not
debate
a
with
deb-
Katie Taylor. It's a good
What?
debate. For me personally,
Never.
I would have
Prime
Clarissa
Prime
Shields
Katie
over.
Taylor versus Prime Shields. Who wins?
Shields.
Yeah, but they're not even the same weight
No,
class. But if you look at what they've actually accomplished,
Anyone who says that at this point as well, they just clearly don't like Clarissa. Clarissa is way better.
head and shoulders.
Way, but it's not even close.
Well,
Head
we
and
don't need to
shoulders
go
and
all
knees.
Joe Hart here, but you know she's
Not even close, bro.
Head and
Anyway, back
shoulders.
to this. 2 rounds to go. I think Savannah Marshall's starting to pull out a comfortable lead now. I've got her about 2-3 rounds.
Good
in
body
front.
shot.
But
Good
that's
body
not to
shot.
say that it's an easy night.
no.
Because Crews-Dezurn is still going for it, man. She's tough. She's
I
rough.
actually think she's been better
2
in the
rounds
first
to go.
30 seconds of this round.
She has. Yeah, she's
Well,
Good body
25
shots.
seconds. Let me just correct you there.
Body shots
Oh.
again.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Savannah Marshall now
Is it
starting
turning
to
the
throw
tide?
more, not combinations, but consistent ones, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's not really a combination.
Before she was moving very economical with the ones. Now she's moving like Adrian
Oh.
Broner in a strip club, just throwing them
Oh.
ones up in the air.
Like a roadman in Tiger, if you will. I can't lie to you though. I think she's realised she
Oh,
has to
that's
knock her out.
Classes. Savannah's
Starting to
extra
show.
Starting to
class is
show.
starting to show.
Starting to show. She's definitely landed some real good shots in this round as well. Woo!
Someone said it was obvious Cruz wasn't going to win when I heard her start singing.
I'm so done.
That's unfair.
But can you imagine that though? Crawford coming out singing the national anthem against Spence.
And then you'll win because it's 80-25.
What a shot.
80-25. It's not 100%, mate. That's 105%.
80-20 fight.
Yeah.
Savannah's
80-25,
trying to-
mate.
Savannah is. This is a
Need to
good
learn your
round for
maths.
Savannah Marshall. Actually, she's shown. Oh,
What
look,
a
good,
good
good
shot.
combination. 1, 2, 3. The left hook landed clean, and again.
Oh,
Oh.
good shot
She's
there
really
again.
starting to let her hands go
Yep.
now.
More
Cruz-Dezurn
combinations
in
than a
survival
GTA
mode
cheat
now.
code,
She's
mate.
just trying to
She
survive.
Oh,
knows
look
how
at
to
that.
survive though. Credit to her.
Yeah.
Oh, she come back with a big right hand of her own.
Literally.
She's just so much like Derek Chisora in the sense that she's never really out of it. Do you know what I mean? She
Literally.
won't be out of it until you
She's
knock her
got-
out.
Oh,
Is that a
look
cut
at
on the top
I've
of
got so
Savannah
much
Marshall's
respect
head
for
there?
No,
that.
I think it's Franchon's blood that's on her head. Yeah, because it's gone now.
Yeah, yeah,
That
it
was
is.
a big
yeah.
round for Savannah Marshall. I thought she.
Could be a broken nose there for Cruz. Certainly
I
a
have
bloody
this
busted
as an
nose.
absolute wipe the floor job, to be honest.
For who?
Savannah. I have it 7-2 right now.
Oh, fair enough.
The first two I had Franchon.
I think I got it
But-
6-3.
I
think-
feel
Yeah,
harsh
that's
with
what
that
I-
though, because I feel like Franchon Crews-Dezurn has held a good account of herself, but
I've got
a
it
lot of those
5.
rounds, I just didn't have her doing anything clean enough to take the rounds.
No,
from
that-
Savannah.
that's the
1
case.
even.
I've got 6.
That's the case.
6-3 Marshall.
James, that's the case. When you're not clean and you're almost trying to messy the fight up, when you get hit with big shots in a round, they're always going to give it to the person who's landed the big shots, even if you've thrown so many punches.
You can see in the corner there, they're quite animated. They're saying to Crews-Dezurn, you need this round. Clarissa,
knock her out.
she looks worried.
Yeah, she looks sick to her
Got a
stomach.
nice
mate.
watch on though.
Here we go then, last round. They touch gloves, they come out now, and they're both going for it straight away. What a surprise. This has been a very good fight. Not the most technically astute from both, but definitely entertaining.
Wow, that was
and
a
some
good
big
shot.
shots have definitely gone in. And
Even the seventh round.
Wow,
they gave-
what that scorecard I
Given
think
no
is a
rounds to
bit
Cruz,
harsh.
which is crazy.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
a bit
make any
harsh.
sense.
Ooh,
did someone's
she's
gum shield
spinning.
Go there or what?
No, she's just spinning, mate.
I mean, I
She's
don't
gonna have
know.
to Just survive for 90 seconds now.
It says it's the viewer's scorecard.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
that should tell you everything that you
maybe
need.
How does the
No,
viewer's
maybe
scorecard
maybe
actually
that's on
work?
Twitter
Do
or
we
something
vote
like
on
that.
it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Viewers card is always going to go for the home favour, isn't it? Let's be
Of
honest.
course.
Not necessarily, you know. I
course
think
it
I think the
is.
viewers of this channel specifically are quite unbiased. I would go as far as
We
to
mean
say,
of
you
the
know,
boxing
call
event.
it down the
The
line.
viewers
Of
of
the
the
boxing
boxing
event. This, I don't,
They call it down the line. You know, the DR Sports
Nah,
faithful.
nah.
Showing a lot of love recently on a lot of the videos, so shout out to you
But
guys. man.
listen,
unless it's Canelo.
I've got to be honest. Savannah's done the better work. She looks the more accomplished in there. But Dezurn has pushed her and made her fight, man.
She's made her Dezurn this win, if you will.
Terrible. Just
Wow.
Oh, good shot by Dezurn. Savannah Marshall walked right onto her. She looks hurt.
Is this,
Oh.
She's still coming forward.
is this a harder night's work than the Clarissa Shields fight?
Nah,
No.
Clarissa Shields pieced her up.
Last 30 seconds, and Dezurn
Three-piece
is
and a
trying to
can of
step to
soda.
her. Fair play to Dezurn. She's giving it everything.
There's levels though, innit?
There is
There's
levels, yeah.
levels.
Yeah.
Raw.
Do you reckon she has a case for a rematch with Clarissa after this?
No.
How long do you think it takes for her to get back in there with her?
Clarissa said that the fight has to take place in America. Oh, this is, look, still going for it. The bell's about to go any second now.
I wonder if
And it's gone.
What a fight.
It's done. It's all over.
It's all over. That last round, I've got to give that to Savannah as well.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to have
Savannah
a
opened
fairly
up
comfortable
the
winner.
Havana.
On my card, I've got her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rounds to Savannah Marshall, 3 rounds to Franchon, and 1 even. But there were a lot of rounds there that were very
7-3.
competitive.
I've got 7-3.
7-3.
I had 6-3-1. James, what did you have?
I had 8-2. What? It was one round off.
TV in the chat agreeing with me, 7-3. And you?
7-3.
Yeah.
I think we all know who won the fight.
Yeah, it was pretty clear.
Franchon Crews. Let's go.
Franchon's corner not even celebrating.
Now,
So
if you
that's
just look at their faces, it will tell the story, mate. She is battered and bruised.
She's knackered as well.
Yeah.
She was knackered from
Stop going off
end of round
aesthetics,
5.
Shane, man. She's not knackered.
Bruv.
You said that, but she finished the fight strong, as strong as she could.
Yeah,
So
well, you
you're-
said
you're-
that, but you
7-3,
gave
Kenneth Elliott
Savannah
in
the
chat
last
says
3 rounds, so
6-4.
not
Yeah, I
that
do.
strong.
Someone
Better
said
boxer.
6-4.
6-4.
Fair enough. I mean, it depends on what you like.
Yeah. To be fair, that 3rd round, I am tempted to give it to Franchon just off that hip toss where she threw Savannah Marshall to the ground.
Again,
But-
just to reiterate, this is a boxing show, not
yeah,
an
but
MMA show. Okay.
yeah, it says Mister. I'm gonna whip out Arsenal analogies every 2 seconds,
It's an
talking about
analogy.
Bukayo Saka.
I'm not talking about.
As was
it's an
mine.
analogy.
Well, that was an analogy, but it was, it shows, it asserts dominance, which is always an important thing to do. in
Man
a fight.
said dashing a person on the floor is winning a round. Mad.
No, I said I would be tempted to. I didn't give her the round, did I? I would be tempted to.
Look at the faces of the girls, man. They were really some bad intentions on those shots, you know.
That's
Damn
not
straight,
low,
mate.
though.
Look at that. Bang.
I can tell
What a
Dezurn spends more time on the heavy bag than that on the pads.
Yeah.
Because the heavy bag, you just have to throw punches. You don't actually have to aim. Like literally, her actual punch selection isn't that great.
Here we go. We're about to get the decision. They're calling both girls to the center of the ring. As I said, Franchon, she's lifting her hand now, but noticeably after the fight, she didn't, whereas Savannah Marshall put her hand straight up in the air because she felt she'd done enough. I think she's done enough.
Quote.
You reckon
The
she's going to
panel-
get back in the ring now?
Look at the quote.
Face off.
Here we go with it.
LV
Oh,
case.
Franchon thinks she's won it.
No,
No.
she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
She's
Mate,
got her hand up in the
she's
air.
doing a Roman Reigns, mate. That's what she's trying to do.
Could you imagine if she actually won? That would
No.
be funny.
No.
No, I don't, she didn't win.
No, there we go.
I can't
Oh.
hear anything.
What?
Maybe the people.
If
in
this
the
is a
comments can
split
put the
decision, what's
scores
going
in.
on here?
It must be a split decision.
What?
What?
What's going on here?
Look at
Go on,
One
Big
judge
Mo.
gone for. Hang on, what's going
What?
on here?
That's what I'm saying.
No. What am I watching?
95-95.
Clarissa's been handing out some brown
99,
envelopes back
92.
there. What's going on here?
Who's the 99-92 for? 97-93.
Well, no,
It's taking a lot.
Clarissa.
That man is-
Savannah
Where's
Marshall
the
looks
Queen's
disappointed.
Speech, fam?
Oh,
About to
There you go.
say, bro.
Marshall win. There you go.
That must have been a split decision because Mama was waiting so long to
yeah,
say the
Savannah looks
scorecard.
stressed as well.
Nervous.
Yeah.
No, but as well she should. 'cause
She shouldn't. She
Yeah.
won 7 rounds. There's no way. It should be 7-3. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know what. That other guy was taking so long to announce the fight as well. You thought it was X Factor.
He was stating the declarations of independence there before he gave the
Literally.
results out.
I
Literally.
didn't think it was that close, to be honest. I've got to admit. I had.
You only had it 2 rounds apart, though, didn't you?
No, I
You
had,
had
it,
8-2.
I had it 6-3-1.
Oh, 6-3-1, yeah, not
5-3-1.
6-4-1. Not 6-4,
5-3-1.
sorry.
Yeah, have it 6.
6-3-1. 6.
Oh, 6-3-1. Yeah. I'm getting.
Let me ask you
Oh,
a
mate.
question.
Go on. Go on.
Did you do key stage 3 maths?
Bro, that's key stage 1, bro.
So here we have it. We all predicted that Savannah Marshall would win. We also said it would be a good fight, which it was. Shane, your comments on the fight. We don't know the exact. Well, we do know the scores. What were they?
92-93. No, sorry, 99-92, 97-93, and there was a 95-95, I think.
95-95.
Majority decision.
Yeah,
Majority
I mean, I
decision.
thought, Some of the rounds were close, but I do think that Savannah Marshall was landed the cleaner shots, the heavier shots, and her ring generalship was definitely better.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Lots of controversy in the chat about the scorecards.
Really?
Yeah, loads of people aren't happy with the 95-95.
Oh, I see.
And Gibbs said
Yeah.
95-95 is crazy. Callum Mason says 95-95. WTF.
I can justify that though. I don't think it was 95-95, but let me tell you why. You see in the rounds where Savannah Marshall allowed Dezurn to messy it up, some
gonna be
judges
50-50,
are very, very strict on that.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that Dezurn is the champion as well. Some judges actually do favour the fact that you're pushing the fight and your messiness, your awkwardness. Sometimes some judges like it. I personally don't. But I've seen many judges score fights like that. Like I remember when Sean Porter fought Jonas Ugas. It's the same thing. Like the judges just gave it just because he was just messing the fight up.
That was a robbery, actually. Because to me, Ugas beat Porter comfortably in that
But
fight.
that's what you see. My point though is when the fighter judge, when you messy a fight up, that's what the judges like sometimes.
Katie Taylor was fighting Savannah. She probably would have won fighting like that.
Maybe.
Because, you know what I mean, it's impossible to get a decision against Katie Taylor. But anyway, we're not talking about Katie Taylor, we're talking about Savannah
Unless you're
Marshall.
trying to tell Cameron.
I wonder what she's saying. Anyone can lip read?
Saying what a disgrace. Who gave that draw round? I'm going to spark him out.
Is it going to have to be her against?
It's got to be her and Clarissa again.
Shields.
That's money, mate. That's money. That's money made.
Clarissa's already said it's got to be in the USA, and
As it should be.
I think that's fair
Born
enough.
in the USA.
Yeah, 100%.
Is the money in the USA?
But that's what I was going to
that
ask.
be
Is
in
the
the
money
UK?
in the USA?
Yeah, I think it is for a
For
fight
that
like
fight,
that, it would be.
I don't know though. Is there as much money in the USA
joint-
for that
joint-
fight as there is in the UK?
Maybe.
joint main event.
Sky Sports
That's what I
money.
was going to say. Maybe if it's like a co-main
Yeah, co-main
with
event,
like a
maybe.
real good undercard on a pay-per-view, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be an expensive one, wouldn't it? It'd be expensive.
I mean, Clarissa Shields signed to, what's my man's name? Salita. Who does Salita have that she can do a co-main event with?
Put her on a co-main with Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano.
But it's not the same
Big-
weight.
big-
It's not the same
Doesn't matter, co-main
promoter.
event.
It's not the same promoter.
Doesn't matter, mate. Get Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a promoter. Get him involved, then he'll sort
But
it all
then
out, mate.
if she's signed to Sky and Katie Taylor's signed to DAZN, how do you do that?
Well, you make it all on what do you call it? What's Jake Paul's promotion called? I forgot his
Yeah,
name.
but the
you make
television-
MVP promotions.
but
You put
in
it all through
I
his
wonder if
promotion.
Clarissa's going to get in the ring.
Most valuable promotion.
I think they'll probably talk. I don't think she'll get in the ring. I don't think it's that dramatic, but I think she'll come out. Savannah Marshall will probably come out to an interview with Anna and Johnny, and then obviously Clarissa's there, and they'll have that chat there.
Maybe.
Because they've already had the fight before. It doesn't need to jump in the ring and do the whole shebang, do you know what I mean?
Ben Shalom, you guys' best friend.
He's a nice guy, mate.
Good bloke,
He's a
isn't
nice guy. He's a
Good
good
bloke.
guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's a good bloke. Yeah. Lot of good people over there. You know, shout out the boys.
That's nice to hear, you know?
He is.
I don't see why Savannah should fight her again. They're not on the same level. And Daniel Chambers said should be in the US. Clarissa already beat Marshall. She's the A side. Agreed.
Money, money, money. That's why.
Yeah.
You go and beat up her girl, her friend, and then you go back and scrap her.
I wonder if they could make that fight in Saudi. I mean, Saudi's making a play for a lot of big fights.
Could you?
But then two women fighting in Saudi Arabia, I don't think that would go down.
Not
well.
necessarily. No, they changed their rules because when WWE did an event over there, originally they didn't let the women fight on the card, but the last one they did, they just made them change their outfits and stuff, and they actually featured a lot of them on. So they're kind of changing their rules when it comes to that kind of thing. So we could see that potentially happen. Will they fork out the money for it when they're trying to negotiate this whole Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua situation?
She's
I'm not
pointing
sure.
to Clarissa, and it looked like they're having words from across the way there.
I think Savannah Marshall deep down knows she can't beat Clarissa Shields.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she gets.
I must admit, though, if you're Clarissa Shields and you're watching that, you're going to be thinking,
Easy money.
Cakewalk.
Easy money. Yeah.
Cakewalk.
Because there is levels, man. And
But
as
who
good
is
as
going to challenge Clarissa Shields? Let's be real. Who is actually going to challenge her?
Savannah Marshall.
She already beat her, though. That's my
I
point.
know, but she's running out of options.
Should she retire?
No, she needs to make more money.
More money.
Why?
Money.
She just had one of the biggest wins of her career. Why would you retire?
If you just keep winning and there's no competition, do you not get a bit...
money,
Let me give you a
money,
clue,
I
right?
don't
It's
mate.
professional fighting. The clue's in the name.
Mate,
They
it's
get
like
paid.
if
That's
you
how
could
she
just
makes a
if
living.
you could just keep beating up Nick in an easy fight over and over and over again to make loads of money, you're gonna do it. You know
I
what
like
mean?
challenges in life as well, though. Like,
Yeah, I
There's,
like
there's a challenge.
I like
how
money.
much money can you make? There's a challenge.
yeah, of course.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Can I iron a
I did
shirt?
see
Good
something
challenge.
where Savannah Marshall had said that if she lost today, she would retire. So obviously she's won, so she's going to carry on. But there's some.
So it'll probably be a cash out fight for her then.
She's reminded me of like Floyd. You know when Floyd is just so difficult to find Floyd the right opponents because he just beat them anyway. So like.
But what other
the
walk of
same
life
thing.
is there where someone's so good at something, if they can keep printing $10 million checks, they'll stop any walk of life. I don't want to make a
no
football
one.
analogy,
No one.
but there is
No
no
one.
other walk of life where anyone, anywhere goes, oh, you know what? I'm winning way too much at this. Let me just stop. It never happens.
Never happens.
Also, anybody that makes a lot of money wants more money. There's a reason they made that money in the first place, because they want money. Nobody turns down money. Even if you're a millionaire, multi-billionaire, everyone's inherently greedy and wants more money.
some will say Rocky Marciano done that. You know,
Did what?
he beat everyone and got bored and retired. That's what some would say. I'm not saying it, but
The money wasn't the same back then also.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying some would say that.
It's all hugs and kisses and
It
cheers.
is, and as it should be after a very impressive performance. I thought she marshaled the ring very well and cruised to victory.
It's one of your better ones, I think, for tonight. Anyway.
Yeah,
Come out with some
definitely.
pretty poor ones.
Yeah, I think that we were broadly right.
Excuse me?
I said that she'd get
Paul?
roughed up and then she'd have to
Well,
think
well,
her way through the fight.
And she done that.
That's exactly what she had to do. She had to use her IQ, think her way through it, remain calm, and not get overawed. And
I
you know,
actually think that Franchon won the first 2 rounds.
I have Franchon
Yeah.
winning the
The
first
first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Good hip toss in the third, like I said, but the first two definitely.
But
Franchon.
if you looked at the scorecards of
The viewers.
yeah,
But I don't
they
even.
had Savannah
I don't
Marshall
even read
4
that
rounds up
because
after
at the end
4.
of the day, we know most of the viewers are Savannah Marshall fans
Exactly,
anyway.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just bias, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not giving Franchon a single round is
It's terrible.
outrageous. Absolutely
Yeah.
outrageous.
Savannah,
Criminal, someone could say.
So
Criminal.
Clarissa Shields is looking like she's getting excited and irate right now.
Yeah.
She always is. She wakes up irate.
Bruh.
She's completely blanking out Johnny Nelson, though. Poor chap.
I don't know what Jenny Nelson.
He's just-
Johnny Nelson
But
is
he's looking
actually
for
on the
he's,
beach.
he's looking for an iron in the background. He's
That's
like,
the out- I'm
he's
flying-
just caught a glimpse of his
Hey,
shirt.
I'm
He's
flying
like,
to Spain
"Oh."
tomorrow morning. That's the outfit I
What
want to
is
be wearing
Johnny
on
Nel-
the beach, bro.
What is Jenny Nelson doing, bro?
He's just
He's on
chilling.
holiday,
Nah,
bro.
fair play to him, man. He's chilling.
He's on holiday.
I do love
if anyone
him, man.
needs to
He's,
retire, it's Johnny Nelson.
nah, he's a lovable character, man. I like him.
That's
He's
Laurie's
entertaining.
brethren, fam.
Yeah, mine. I don't tell him when I see him.
Tell
man.
him.
Even
You can
if
tell
he's
him you
seen
want. You can come and chat to him.
I just want to see him one time and ask him what was he thinking when he said James Tennyson will knock out Tank. That's I've been waiting to see this guy for just that one reason.
That's what he felt, innit?
Bro,
Based on what?
Based on James
You'd have to
Tennyson
ask
knock
him
out
that,
Tank.
man. I thought it was weird as well, but you have to ask him that.
How big was the envelope? That's
Literally, bro. I know. Well, I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's
better
not.
not.
Yeah,
At least he's taking them ridiculous flip flops off anyway.
facts.
Is that a common thing with all these boxing presenters, man, rocking up and flip? You know, when we went to that event the other day, I'm coming in, nice shirt and everything,
Did you iron
nice
it?
suit, pants. Damn right, I ironed it. It was looking crisp. It was looking fresh. First thing I see when I walk in is Spencer Oliver stood there in Versace sliders, no socks on, and shorts. And I'm like, oh, I've made an absolute cock of myself here. Everyone was just in
Jared
shorts and
Anderson,
t-shirt.
big baby.
Right, okay, let's wrap things up then.
Like a Christmas present.
Yeah, something like that. So we saw the 2 fights. The first fight, myself and Shane was going at it.
3 fights, actually.
Well, 3 fights, yeah. The first world title fight. Natasha Jonas, as we all said, comfortable win against, let's face it, a very underskilled opponent. Although she was tough, I'll give her that. But really and truly, she was totally outclassed by Natasha Jonas, who picked up her second title at welterweight. A fight which I think demonstrates the problem of women's boxing is that above the top level, there's a paucity of, there's a depth, there's a lack in the depth, isn't it, of talent, and it showed tonight because to me, no disrespect, but Candy Wyatt should not be fighting for a world title, and it was easy money for Natasha Jonas. I think we all agree that, really don't we?
Facts.
I thought Natasha Jonas looked good. I don't agree with Shane. To me, it was a statement win because she just won every round, beat her up.
Another day in the office. Another day in the office to me.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so unless you guys want to add anything to that one, that was that.
It was a clinic.
Then we saw Ben
Send it
Whitaker.
back.
Again, there was some disagreement in the panel. I thought it was a very good performance.
Some people didn't like the showboating.
Something didn't like, and I
I
get
loved
that.
it.
I can see why some people would have a problem with that because I did think at times it was a bit over the top. But in terms of what he actually produced on the night, in terms of his boxing skills and ability and talents, I think he looked very good, very sharp.
Facts.
Good combinations, decent power, but not, not real heavy power. But I thought he looked good.
Guy had more class than a private school. Got to agree with you.
What?
Bro,
I thought that was funny. I thought that was very
mate.
funny.
Thanks, mate.
bro, this guy.
You can tell when someone actually thinks it's funny because they don't laugh. They just say, "Yeah, that was funny,
I
mate."
thought that was really funny. I'm not gonna
Jared
lie.
Anderson. Big
And
baby.
then the main event,
Yeah.
the fight that we were all looking forward to. We said it was going to be a good fight, and it was a good fight. To me, Savannah Marshall, worthy winner. Once she got that degree of separation after the first, because I thought she lost the first 2 rounds. I thought Franchon came out and really, put it on her.
She
a
was
little
on
bit,
fire.
pushed her.
But she
Good
also,
jab.
Not to interrupt you, sorry, but she also lost those first couple of rounds because we all agreed also that her tactics were wrong. As much as Franchon put it on her, her tactics were very incorrect. And once she went back to the tactics that we kind of thought she would, I don't know how, it's a bit of credit to Franchon for being able to put it on her and a bit of disappointment for not getting it right so
Facts.
early. But then, she figured her way out for it.
Yeah, James was saying that Franchon may have gassed after the first couple of rounds because she put so much energy into it. That could be, but certainly after the third round, or
She looked like a drunk man on stilts after the 3rd round. She was stumbling all over the gas.
Once Franchon's pace dipped a little bit, then Savannah was able to establish her jab more. I still think she gave up her height too much in this fight. She was fighting in this weird kind of head down style.
It was the tarantula style, wasn't it?
Well, I wouldn't quite put it as that. But,
Is that some layover from the previous fight of getting caught so many times, maybe?
she does fight like that, but
Yeah.
tonight it seemed more so where she's crouched down, almost
And
to the height of
backwards.
Franchon Crews, where you think surely you want to elevate yourself to be taller, you can use your jab more. But anyway, that aside, I thought that she was a worthy winner. She landed some big shots in there, and the class told in the end for me. So,
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Yep.
We all agreed on that. But listen, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button for more content, not just from DR Boxing, but from DR Sports in general. Thank you very much to my panel. Shane. Woohoo!
The guy who's never had a boxing fight.
Nick
I want to
Francis.
punch this guy up one day, I swear to God.
And James Toon in the house. We'll be back, man. You'll see more content from us very shortly. Keep them locked and loaded on DR Sports. We're out. We'll see you very soon.